How we doing out there, Road Atlanta? Make some noise! Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is Road Atlanta. We've been here since 2004. Some of you maniacs have been here since day one, and some of you, this is your first drift event ever. I need to make sure that people know that Road Atlanta has some of the most insane drift fans in the world. Road Atlanta, make some noise! All right. Well, save a little bit. Save a little bit, because we're about to introduce you to our top 16 drivers. But first, I'm American. My grandpa was in the Air Force. A lot of you served in our country. So I ask you to please stand and remove your hats. Because as you can see, not only cars down there, you see the flags, and also the young men and women wearing blue T-shirts have made a commitment to serve in our United States Air Force. To honor their commitment, please remain standing while Captain Listina administers the oath of enlistment.
All right, like the announcer said, these young men and this young lady over here, they represent this generation's, the next leaders and the next heroes of the Air Force. So please give them your round of applause. Show them your appreciation. Now for my Deppers, I want you to listen to that, and when you go to BMT, when you go to your first assignment, remember that this out here is what you're doing it for. Remember that. So are you ready to take the oath of enlistment? All right, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will serve and protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to regulation and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Thank you. Welcome to the team. Thank you all.
Make some noise again for the young men and women committing themselves to the United States Air Force. Now please remain standing, remove your hat. Presenting the colors is the Jefferson High School Honor Guard. And singing the national anthem, Cadet Brianna Nolly and Anna R.C.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Make some noise, Atlanta! Thank you to the young men and women, Captain Listina, the Jefferson High School Honor Guard, and Cadet Brianna Nolly and Anna R.C. Are you ready to meet your top 16 drivers ready to do battle here at round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras? First off, first car parked from Los Angeles, California. He's in the dock. Hankook tires, V8 supercharged, S14. It is Relentless Jeff Jones. Coming to us from Florida, he is in the Urban Air. Hoonigan, Nexon tires, S14. It is Alec Odell. Coming up next, the Latvian lover, the HGK Achilles Motul Wise Fat Mass Motorsports BMW. It is Kristaps Blush. Coming all the way from Lima, Peru. He's in the Inca Madness Racing RTS Field Suspension Nitto Tires BMW. It is Alex Hilbrun. Originally from Rowlett, Texas, now living in Claremont, Florida. Injuku Racing, BC Racing, Hankook Tires. Say hello to Little Tex, Nate Hamilton. Up next, the Essa Bunny, as I like to call him, the pink, in honor of his daughter Aria, on his vehicle. Love the suit. Let's get dirty now. He's the Essa Autosports Achilles Radial BMW. It is Michael Essa. A new darker look, a new darker season for this gentleman from Oregon in the 959 Nexon Tires Ford VA-powered S13. It is Matt Kaufman. Moving right along, he is your defending three-time Formula Drift champion, originally from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, in the NOS Enerdrink 370Z on Hankook Tires, Chris the Force Forsberg. Moving on down the line, keeping it an international affair, in the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles Radials, Dean Carnage Carney. Another Irish driver. He was on a 7-year hiatus. He won round one here in Long Beach, California. He's in the Word House Drift Team S15. It is the tall man. He is the truth, James Dean. Rounding out that two-car Word House Drift Team, coming to us from Poland. Both these guys on Falcon Tires. It is Peter Vincek. All right, moving on down the line. He's always a crowd favorite. He is in the Gum Out Black Magic Intense Tire Wet Toyota Racing GT86, operated by Nameless Performance from New Hampshire, Ryan Turk. One of the two RTR teams joining the RTR Motorsports team this year. He's in the BC Racing Nitto Tires Mustang RTR. It is Chelsea Danofa. And up next, because he is your #1 qualifier, Richard Mancinelli, the Speed Perks Loyalty Marketing Manager from Advanced Auto Parts, giving him $500 cash, courtesy of Black Magic Car Care. And Mark Tucker, brand manager, is holding up the sign, presenting our #1 qualifier here. Again, winner of the Black Magic Intense Tire Wet, $500 cash to Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the Monster Energy Nitto Tire Mustang RTR. The only rotary in competition out here. He took down our points leader. And here he is. He is in the Built to Apex Mazda Tricks Nexon Tires MX-5. It is Kyle the Menace Mohan. And last but definitely not least, his whole field family's in the building. Even Grandma's here to cheer on the beast from the Bay. He's in the Falcon Tires Vaptasia Black Tracks S14.5 from San Jose, California. The 777, Matt Field. Make some noise, Atlanta. Those are your top 16 drivers. They're about to go head-to-head, mano-a-mano. Atlanta, make some noise. Let's send it. All right, well, here we are again. We are getting prepared for our first head-to-head battle. United States Air Force has been a long partner of Formula Drift. As you saw, we saw the depth swear of the young men and women. There was only one woman out there, but joining me up here once again, it's great to see you. Techno Sergeant Long, how we doing?
Good, sir. Thank you for having us out here again.
Oh, of course, man. And I see you brought your family this time. Your wife, she made me nervous. You know, she's like, oh, what, do you get nerves? I'm like, no, not at all. Not at all. And then I got nervous.
Hey, she does that to me sometimes, too.
Exactly.
So.
Well, great to see you back up here. This is your second event. I asked your kids there. And you guys don't live too far from here in Brazelton.
Actually, yeah, we're just right through the woods there. We hear the cars out here at Road Atlanta all the time, and we were very thankful to be out here and be part of it this afternoon.
Yeah, and again, I bring this up every time. My grandpa's in the United States Air Force. That's why I got those tattoos for him. Mm-hmm. So thank you for your service. And, of course, I thank my grandpa. He's still alive. He's still with us. He fought in World War II. But your role at the United States Air Force, what exactly is it?
Yes, sir. Well, I started out my career in the Air Force 15 years ago now. I started out in aircraft maintenance, and about 2 years ago, the Air Force asked me to be a recruiter. Okay. So for the past 2 years, I've been working in the Gainesville area, the Brazelton area as well, recruiting young men and women into today's Air Force. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years now. So
today's Air Force, maybe define that, because some people just think it's, you know, you're on the battlefield, you're doing battle, or it's airplanes. There are so many careers and positions and education through the United States Air Force.
There sure is. You know, a lot of the science and technology and engineering that goes into the development of these cars it's right in line with what we do in the Air Force, maybe on a higher level, you know, working with aircraft and multi-billion-dollar equipment.
Right.
But it's very comparable. So we're definitely looking for some young men and women to, you know, keep the Air Force moving forward as far as advances in technology and keeping everyone here at home safe and around the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's instrumental and key, but the technology and all those things, I saw, there was a poster down there, like 80,000 RPMs up in the sky or something like that, seeing a jet, and that's obviously an attractive component, but it's not just a last option because people are like, oh, I'm going to go in the military. Right. You can get a larger education from being in the United States Air Force.
Yeah, definitely. With the Air Force, I mean, we are the only branch to have our own community college. A lot of people don't realize that, and you can actually get your education while you're serving the Air Force, travel the world, and knock out those classes one at a time. And, you know, we're always encouraging folks to build on that and improve themselves, not only as an airman, but also when they return back to the civilian life. You know, they can excel there as well.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for yourself joining us here, your family, your wife over here listening in, smiling on, and your family, and thank you for what you do, and all of the you know, I don't want to say soldiers. What do you call it? Airmen. And everybody else out there that is part of our military extension. Of course, thank you to the United States Air Force for their long-standing partnership with Formula Drift. So when we return, we'll take a short break. When we come back, head-to-head battles here at Road Atlanta, round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, presented by Blackview Dash Cameras, when we return. Could see off in the distance. As I said, the sun is setting, the lights are on. 14 years, Sting Brain. Keep moving. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Matt Kaufman. These guys have never seen battle against each other. You see that winning percentage, 66.8. Matt Kaufman, 32%. This is I got to say, you know, the needle is leaning towards Vaughn Gittin Jr., but Matt Kaufman could really upset some folks, and he knows who he's going against, and that's where you think it's like, I'm going to put it all out there, see what I got, and leave it all out on the track. But, again, crazier things have happened. We saw Frederick Osbo go out earlier, so not that Camo and Hand isn't, you know, a caliber driver, but, you know, again, signs are saying and percentages, statistic-wise, you know, signs were saying that Frederick Osbo would get the win, so anything usually does happen. Vaughn Gittin Jr. warming up his Nitto tires. He has not seen head-to-head competition here. I should say today, because he did qualify number 1, so he had an automatic bye, which put him right here into this position in the top 16. All right, warming up his tires and finally pulling to the start line. Here comes the next entire shrouded S13 of Matt Kaufman. And Kaufman, a couple more turns of that machine that was built for war. That's what it says on the wing. He'll be getting a look at the back of that Ford Mustang of Vaughn Gittin Jr. first. Okay, so now, finally, heat cycle into the tires. Let's see what we got. Who's moving on to the Grade 8, our first battle of the top 16. I'm Jared Dienda. Ryan Sage, Ryan Lontaine will join us in conversation when it comes to getting some judging explanation, as well as Lorette Nickel is at the top of the hill getting some insight from the drivers and the teams. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead. Matt Kaufman will give chase, and Kaufman gets a quick jump out there, and he is allowed to do that. We got a clean start here. Kaufman in that chase position can get a bit of a jump. Vaughn initiates hard and fast into that first front clip, locking up that back wheel. Signature three-wheel motion up the hill. Flickering into that outer zone. Matt Kaufman forgoes that back outer zone, and now transitions out of the horseshoe. And Vaughn Gittin Jr. making some clouds of his own as only just a few linger. A very dominant performance there by Vaughn out front.
Well, as you said, Kaufman got a jump out of the gate, but I don't think he got the timing just right. You can see here he actually falls behind. It didn't seem like he had the acceleration that he was looking for in order to get the timing right coming out of the gate, and he allowed Vaughn to get this big gap. Now Vaughn is able to fill this zone here, so he's not running away by taking a shallower line. Now Kaufman meets up with Vaughn through the smoke line here. Vaughn heads down the hill, good angle by Vaughn on this mid-line through this last inside clip here, and a solid lead run for Vaughn Gittin Jr., establishing a gap early on. Kaufman closed it toward the middle, and then some separation towards the end.
Well, Vaughn Gittin Jr. came into this round of competition 5th in points, and outside of Frederick Osbo, the remaining other out of the top 5, 4 of them are advancing on into the 16, so they will see competition. Can Vaughn continue his success? Kaufman will lead, and Gittin will chase.
You can see the smoke is playing tricks with our camera there.
Right. Yeah, it just goes to show you how thick it is. What do you make of Gittin's vehicle? Him and Denofa, they're both operated by RTR, but just the dynamics of it. Everybody's, we always talk about the three-wheel motion. It's unlike any other vehicle really out here.
For sure, and it's very bouncy too, but, the team that sets it up for him, they know what they're doing. Vaughn knows what he wants out of his vehicle, and it's obviously performing incredibly with that #1 qualification, 5th in points right now. Certainly there's a style aspect and aesthetics aspect, but wanting also to have that function as well as form.
All right, so maybe letting a little smoke dissipate through. You could see the long shot there, a bit hazier than what you saw previously. So, and Matt Kaufman rolls out of the start. Oh, okay, so cone was hit. You can see that cone knocked over. That is 1 strike against Matt Kaufman. 1 strike against Matt Kaufman. So Matt Kaufman with 1 strike out of the starting chicane. Vaughn Gittin Jr. in that chase position. Okay, so Kaufman jumped the light. That is a strike against Kaufman. 3 strikes and you're out. And you can see the red lights illuminate, extinguish. It's go time. Here we go. Send it. Matt Kaufman out of the gate. And looks like that is another cone. Matt Kaufman with another cone hit. So that is 2 strikes. If he does this one more time or jumps the light, he will automatically forfeit this round of competition, handing Vaughn Gittin Jr., I don't want to say the victory, but that run, and that would be an incomplete run for Matt Kaufman.
And it's worth noting, has it happened before?
Yes.
Yes, it has.
Right. And it was in Canada.
And also in Japan.
Oh, it was in Japan. Yeah, I forgot about that. So it has happened. Only international events, Canada and Japan, but never in the States.
You got to imagine there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Kaufman here to get through the gate now and not make this mistake. You have to wonder if he'll be able to get the jump that he wants.
All right, so here we go. Matt Kaufman leaving this start. Here we go. Let's not hit a cone, fellas. Clean start through the chicane. Here we go. Kaufman out front. Vaughn Gittin Jr., the second run. You got to think the tires. They've gone through a heat cycle now here in that chase position. There are Vaughn Gittin Jr. and obviously Matt Kaufman up the hill. Goes Kaufman, Gittin in tow. Into that second outer zone goes Kaufman. Nice job by Matt Kaufman. Into that rear zone. Vaughn keeps his composure, chasing down Kaufman. Back down the hill. Matt Kaufman with a solid lead run. Kaufman really using all the course. I mean, right here in the horseshoe, in the keyhole, he really got all the way out there. Great angle, but Vaughn was right there.
Well, I think you could probably make the argument that the lead runs were pretty similar. It's the chase runs that are going to probably play the different role here. You can see Vaughn is able to mimic Kaufman as they go through that transition. Kaufman, great job here, just paints the line. Absolutely beautiful in that second outer zone. Vaughn is not letting him get away, navigates through the smoke line here as Kaufman heads down the hill. Vaughn starting to assert a little bit more pressure. Good movement, nice switch back there. Kaufman pulls a little bit of a gap through the finish line, but Vaughn was able to stay with him, general proximity, close the door a few times, and those two lead runs, Vaughn and Kaufman's were pretty similar. I think it's going to come down to the chase.
Yeah, I mean, Kaufman, when he hits his stride, it's unfortunate that he goes against, a monster that is Vaughn Gittin Jr. So slide him left for Kaufman, right for Vaughn Gittin Jr. And Ryan, just as you said, you have to assume Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the victory. He advances on to the Great Eight. We are now into our battles in the top 16. We have one driver who's advancing on. That's Vaughn Gittin Jr. So next up will be Alec Odell and Jeff Jones. Odell and Jones, these guys have seen battle only one time before, and Odell winning that one battle that these guys have gone against each other. Fairly similar setups as far as a V8 engine and supercharged S chassis, but two very different driving styles. Actually, you know what? I digress. I think they have kind of fairly similar styles. They have kind of a wild style to them, just really throwing it out there. More of a violent driving style. Jeff Jones warming up his hand-cooked tires there. Alec Odell waits in his Urban Air Nexen tire. Hoonigan S14. Our second battle in the top 16. And Odell will lead. Jeff Jones will give chase. Making sure everything's good for Formula Drift on CBS Sports. Ryan, airing fairly soon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, really?
Yep.
I didn't even know that. All right, so airing tomorrow, Formula Drift on CBS Sports. Myself, Jared Dienda, and Ryan Sage, being your tour guides there on CBS Sports. And here we go. Red lights out, and that means go. Odell through the chicane. We have a clean start. Jeff Jones. Let's see if he can get that proximity. Couple car lengths between them. Odell knocking out that front clip. You see Odell getting into the rumble strip, getting out of shape. Odell gets in that back rear zone. Like I said, that kind of wow. Oh, Jeff Jones, you hear it sputtering. I believe that was Jones. You saw a correction there and a straightening, but Odell up front, you saw him knock over. It seemed like he was just off like a scotch, just one kind of couple feet off.
Well, Judge Ryan Lentine talked a lot about setting up your line right from the onset in order to make it all the way through and hit those points. Odell gets out to a good jump. You can see that little twitch of the front wheel coming up the hill here. and Jones playing catch-up, but Honadale comes into that zone, that second outer zone, a bit early. Then he overshoots that second inside flip there, so a couple mistakes on line by Honadale. You can see some wavering out front, but then Jones makes that big mistake right there where he kind of loses angle, switches back for a second there. So a couple mistakes from Honadale, not the most perfect line in the lead position. He was able to establish a gap, but we saw Jones playing catch-up and that mistake coming down the hill, Jared.
All right, so we are hearing from Alec Honadale's spotter that he has called the competition timeout. That means 5 minutes have been allotted towards Alec Honadale, and he needs to work on his vehicle. So, all right, so as we are waiting for Honadale to fix his vehicle or will advance on, Lorette Nickel caught up with a strong international contingent. Peter Vincic, James Dean, and Dean Carnage Carney.
Hey guys, I just wanted a few minutes to catch up with these Europeans. And Dean Kearney, you told me that you made a little bit of a mistake. So how do you make sure you don't do that moving forward?
Yeah, the track was at like 95% dry actually when I done the run, but we thought it was a little drier than what it probably was on the entry, so I hit full lock on the way in and just had to wait for the car to grip up. So that was okay. We got up coming out of the horseshoe, then I transitioned out for it's not exactly an inside clip, but it's a marker on the course, and I just hit full lock again there and just had to wait. I put two tires on the grass, so I thought I was after wasting the run, but then when I got up to the start line, my spotter said Dan was after following me up and he shut down actually in the horseshoe, so it was probably a 0-0 for the both of us. So I knew then in my chase run I just had to apply as much pressure as possible and try to beat him that way. So luckily enough it worked out for us.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Moving on. And this man right here, Peter, you told me earlier today that this track is like a grand adventure. Can you tell us why?
It's for me something definitely new. Like all the tracks here, this competition this year is a great adventure simply. But this track is something really amazing. For me especially, it was full of emotions because in practice day we managed to do only 2 runs because of the issues with the car before qualification, and managed to one more. All of them were pretty messy, but my first qualification run was the first actually good one, so I was really excited about it. Second one doesn't go so well, but still I was very happy about my result. And yeah, we are here at Road Atlanta, where everybody's saying that this is their favorite track, and now I understand why, because all of this racing before our event, all the rumor spectators, like fans, are really cheering up. It's awesome. It's pleasure to be here, simply.
That's great. Well, we're so excited that you're here. And your teammate right here, if you don't mind, Peter, I'm just going to squeeze right in between you. James Dean, you know drift is just a roller coaster. So starting from Long Beach to Orlando to Atlanta, what are the biggest lessons that you've learned?
I think each event we go to, we're learning new things. You know, Long Beach was an amazing start. Hard to believe what happened there, and you know, I'm still even buzzing from it almost 2 months later. Orlando was amazing, new track, banked oval, and that was something new for both me and Peter. But we managed quite well and had an awesome battle with Jonathan Castro, and you know, it's a good way to lose, battling so close, and I think it was the battle of the weekend. So, you know, we're learning at each event is a new track, and it takes some time to adjust, but everything's going good. This weekend, Atlanta, amazing track. Practice went really good for us on Thursday, and Friday we just got 1 run before qualifying, and on my qualifying I didn't do my best runs. I pushed too hard my first run, made a mistake, and I was a bit overly cautious in the second run. But we had our top 32 battle with Ken Goofshe a while ago, and you know, the track was just horrible to drive. It was wet, dry, patchy all over, very hard to control, but somehow we managed to keep it on track. He made a small mistake coming through the last corner, and I think that was the difference. But yeah, I count myself lucky to be in top 16 and really excited to get in front of these fans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Lorette. Thank you, James Dean, Dean Carney, and Peter Vincic. You could see a beautiful sky here in Braselton, Georgia. Thanks for joining us. Year 14. It's unbelievable to think just all the history and memories made here at this fantastic track, and more will be made tonight here under the lights. But first, we have to just a few messages from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll see some more action, but just a short break. All right, so we want to give back to you. You could win a set of centerline wheels at the next round, but right now it's Angie Winfrey. Congratulations. You won a set of centerline alloy wheels. So Angie Winfrey, congratulations. You won a set of centerline alloy wheels. They will contact you accordingly. Thank you so much. And also Drifts wheels. Jamie Rumi. Jamie Rumi, you won a set of Drifts hardcore wheels for the street, courtesy of ATDwheels.com, an official sponsor of Formula Drift. Also, if you entered the Achilles contest, each winner wins a set of free tires. Frank Harper, Luke Platt, Adam Leahy, Shambria Marshall, Jonathan Garcia, Robert L. Owens. And we will contact you next week about how to get your complimentary tires courtesy of Achilles Radial. So we still have some track cleanup. You could see there was unfortunately a lot of water and fluid that came out all on the track. So the Road Atlanta staff is working on it now. Again, the Road Atlanta staff and cleaning crew working on it. We'll get it off the course. And Alec Odell has fixed his car. He has made his competition timeout, but we believe that Jeff Jones' car might be leaking. We'll see what goes on here, but again, so in just a few moments, we will see what happens here as we get a cleanup here at Road Atlanta. But Laurent Nickel caught up with last year's winner here at this round. That was Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's already in the grade 8. Laurent Nickel caught up with the Monster Energy driver.
Vaughn Gittin Jr., we know he qualified first. So when you know that you have to move through the ranks, how do you keep repeating that #1 run?
I mean, you just try as hard as you can. You know, I listen closely to what the judges want. I work very closely with my amazing team to get the car to what I want, and I go out there and lay it down the best I can, as aggressive as I can, and, you know, just smiling ear to ear behind the wheel when it works out. You know, but yeah, qualifying first this year, you know, last year we had a perfect event here, and to come back and you know, qualify first and feel as good as I do right now out there on the track, I'm just pumped.
Vaughn, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Whoa.
So as you can see, there is quite a lot of fluid there up on the start line, and that could affect a lot of the outcomes. So I want to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot here at round 3 of the Formula Drift Championship. So we will take another short break, and when we come back, we'll see some head-to-head action. Welcome back. As you can see, we're going to advance on to our next pair. That's Matt Field warming up his tires. He will be going against that of James Dean. So again, we are seeing Jeff Jones. Look at, you can see just a lot of, I mean, it looks like he was watering down some
plants needed some water.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Unfortunately, so Jeff Jones has called his competition timeout as well because he's having some overheating issues, is what Laurent Nickel is telling me. So, so both of them. I think he was adding some fertilizer. He's giving back. That's the way Jeff Jones does.
Well, they do take up a lot of the the grass off the rumble strip over there, so it's the courteous thing to do.
Yeah, it's legit. Matt Field, James Dean have never seen battle against each other. This should be a fun one to watch. Knowing Matt Field, we saw him last year. He gets aggressive. His family's here. His grandma's here. I know James Dean, the whole country of Ireland's watching, cheering him on. I know he's got a lot of fans on the internet and even here in the building, especially after Long Beach, California. But prior to that, he has been a killer, and as has Matt Field. Matt Field has really just made a name for himself. So here we go. Back to the action. Come on, Atlanta. Let him hear ya. Here we go. Turning and burning. Both these guys on Falcon tires. Matt Field out front. James Dean initiating almost simultaneously. James Dean right there has to step back. Now Matt Field gets into that first outer zone, working his way. Look at the degree of angle from Field. All the way out to that second outer zone, firing away through the horseshoe. Oh my goodness, Matt Field. Let's take a look at this. We'll review that once again. Ryan Sage will walk us through it, but that was exciting up until that point. Matt Field was on fire, literally and figuratively, as he came into that horseshoe.
Well, look at the confidence here of James Dean on initiation. Initiates right with field, gets right up in his grill right here. Incredible job. Matt's out front, just laying the throttle down, smashing through this course. James Dean falls back for a second, has a little bit less angle here, but it's all we're gonna be talking about this section right here. Inside clip number 2. Matt Field goes around it, and right there you can see a piece fly off the car. So there was a little bit of contact there, and the judges are going to have to interpret what happened at inside clip number 2. But a phenomenal battle up until that point between these two veteran competitors.
Yeah, I mean, the question really lies here. So again, great angle from Field, put his car in the right place. The question here is Matt Field maxed out on the angle, or did he not have enough room to transition back because Dean was there? But he was on that front clip. Dean was right there, and that's just, the smoke is that big variable.
Man, I love that, the way they initiated together like that. That just looks so awesome. And now coming up the hill here, you can see Dean is going to fall back for a second. A lot of horsepower and grip coming from Matt Field's car. Let's look at it from this angle here as Matt comes into inside clip number 2. And then just right there, it kind of looks like Matt maybe was getting held up there. But we can also see...
Yeah, you can see that front left corner of James Dean right there. Look at, there's the contact. So...
And I believe it may have been a canard that,
yeah,
that came
you
off.
can see that the front right has the carbon canard, and on the left it's been kicked off. So looks like what I'd have to assume is you could see the tire there and shooting it off. Here it is again. I think this is the best angle. See Field transition around, and yeah. And from that other angle, you know, was Field about to go onto the grass. So you could see right there. And that, yeah, I mean, that looks like, would it be back left? Or back, yeah. So it would be potentially back right tire. Or was that front left? That was front left, or front right, excuse me.
Well, the judges do need to ascertain fault here because it's going to be very important for each of the spotters. So you can see Dean off to the side here, Field waiting at the start line. All right, I am hearing that it was unanimous. I believe all 3 judges went Matt Field at fault there. Let's bring in Ryan Lantain just to give us some insight on what you guys are looking at here on the replay.
Yeah, we were trying to determine if the contact is what caused Matt to over-rotate or if the over-rotation is what caused the contact. And from what we can see, it looks like the over-rotation from Matt Field is what caused James Dean to not have anywhere to go and make that contact. So we deemed fault on Matt Field for that contact.
Perfect. So Matt Field waits there. Look at just the plot thickens. This is what Atlanta creates, some crazy battles. So Matt Field is deemed at fault. So James Dean is allowed to look at his car. So they're already thrashing underneath it, the Wordhouse Drift team. You could see the Wordhouse Drift team working on the car, the Wisefam suspension, making sure everything's good, up to snuff. So he does have a certain amount of time, not 100%, but you could see that there. It looks like they're turning the tires. And so as the Wordhouse Drift team thrashes on the car to make sure it is all good, Matt Field, because he's at fault, he can put hands on the car, but he'd have to utilize a competition timeout. So we'll see what Matt Field chooses to do. Again, Field is at fault. Jeff Jones, Alec Honadale, we are back to these two gentlemen. All right, so Jeff Jones, Alec Honadale. Jeff Jones will lead, Alec Honadale will give chase. So we've already seen the 1/2 run, if you recall, between Jones and Honadale. It was quite some time ago. We've got the fluid there on track, and Honadale definitely had a strong run. Jones will lead. Honadale will give chase. Here's the second half of their battle. Only one driver already in the grade 8. We've seen a half of a Honadale-Jones battle, half of a Field and Dean battle. And after this, we should be seeing Hilbrun and Forsberg if we don't revisit that of Field and Dean. All right, we got a clean start. Jones, nowhere to be found. Honadale now initiates. And Jones, a straight line, very interesting. As Honadale, look at that, getting in the business of Jeff Jones. Right there, banging on Jones's door, Alec Honadale. Wow, flexing some muscle in that urban air. Hoonigan, Nexen Tires S14. My goodness, the kid is on fire. Woo!
Well, Jones has a real wacky initiation here. You can see as he passes through Alec Honadale, you can see right here, he just struggles quite a bit and kind of straightens out a little bit there on initiation. And unfortunately, it's going to be a big problem in terms of the mistake level. And then Honadale just lays it into him right here. Absolutely closes the door on inside clip number 2, wraps it back around, and then right here keeps the pressure on down the hill as they circle back around to this final inside clip here. Jones gets back online, but that initiation, I think, is really going to hurt him there.
Seeing Alec Honadale's team cheering on, high-fiving. Is that premature or is that on time? Look at that already quickly. Jeff Jones pulling to the grass, and he did call a competition timeout. I know he was having some overheating issues, so we'll see what happened there. Lorette Nickel giving us some up-to-date, even via text. So Jeff Jones, Alec Honadale slide him right for Honadale, left for Jones. Alec Honadale gets the win and advances on into the grade 8, and that was in grand fashion, man. That was just not leaving it out there, and he could have kicked back, but Alec Honadale, that was an exciting run for them.
Well, it's been a pretty crazy top 16 already, Jared, as we've got just 2 winners in the top 16 so far. We've seen some competition timeouts. We've seen some oil and water down. We saw Vaughn Gittin Jr. take out Matt Kaufman, and we're right in the midst of the middle of the battle between Field and Dean, where Field was deemed fault for the contact on inside clip number 2. Dean subsequently was able to look at his vehicle, and now we're moving on to the next battle here. Alex Hilbrun and Chris Forsberg. Alex Hilbrun, Jared, as you know, is having a very strong 2017 season. Started off this season with just a bang, having a podium in the first 3 events that we put on, 1 championship round and 2 rounds at the Long Beach Grand Prix. And just seeing this young driver develop has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, Hilbrun is just he's kind of got a broken accent. He's from Peru. He's a successful businessman, and now he's really putting together a successful race program. The Inca Madness Racing driver of Hilbrun, just fun to watch. But he's going against the defending champion of Chris, the Force Forsberg. So as you can see, Forsberg heating it up back there. All right, so Hilbrun on the start line. Hilbrun on the start line. Forsberg warming up his hand-cooked tires. And Alex Hilbrun on the Nittos. Inca Madness Racing, BMW pulling up. So again, we have to go back to Field and Dean. We saw the contact between them, just to keep you reminded. We saw the contact between Matt Field and James Dean. Field was at fault, as deemed unanimously by the judges. So there'll be a deficit there as far as an incomplete run. And now Hilbrun and Forsberg. Alex Hilbrun qualifying 5th, just outside one of those coveted top 4 spots that would have advanced him onto the 16. But Hilbrun made his way through Nishida and Forsberg against Odi Bakshis after one more time. So Hilbrun will lead, Forsberg will give chase. And we are ready to send the cars. You can see right there in between the two drivers, the start light is out and it's on. Alex Hilbrun will lead, Chris Forsberg giving chase. We got a clean start. No cones were hit. Here comes Hilbrun and Forsberg. Hilbrun transitioning. Forsberg right there. Hilbrun and Forsberg. Forsberg, did he pour too much on? He has to back off. Hilbrun keeps it consistent up the hill. Hilbrun, great execution. Nice job. Now Forsberg regains some ground into the horseshoe, and now out. Hilbrun, great degree of angle. Forsberg not mimicking it just exactly, but gains some ground as they head back up the hill. Hilbrun and Forsberg. Make some noise, Atlanta. Ryan, walk us through this once again. I should say Ryan's.
Well, good start here. Chris Forsberg dives right into initiation right there, and like you said, maybe has to pull back a little bit there, avoid the spinning out or making contact. Alex Hilbrun in the lead position is going to shoot for this outer zone. He's going to come up a tiny bit short, leaves the door open for Forsberg to close the door here. Now as we wrap back down the hill, big angle here from Hilbrun in the lead position, and then right here through that last inside clip. But starting off, Forsberg really pushed it on initiation, trying to stay close.
Chris Forsberg will now lead. Alex Hilbrun will give chase. Some fantastic driving when push comes to shove. Checking the cameras again, as Ryan Sage said, Formula Drift on CBS Sports. This is round 3, our next round of competition. Sees us in New Jersey, man. It's already round 3, because usually it's traditionally round 2. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So Forsberg and Hilbrun. All right, so the judges seeing what's going on here between Forsberg and Hilbrun, seeing if there's contact. The officials taking a look at the vehicles to see if there was any contact made. You can see that front brake light illuminated on Chris Forsberg's car. Alex Hilbrun, quite brighter headlights there. Remember, Field and Dean waiting in the wings. I could see Matt Field back there and James Dean. And here we go. Forsberg out front. Alex Hilbrun in the chase position. Coming down the hill. Forsberg, big feint entry into that first front clip. Alex Hilbrun right there. Big angle from Hilbrun. They transition back up the hill. Forsberg into that first outer zone. And now into the second. Hilbrun dives in on the shallower line. Hilbrun spins out. And into the grass goes Hilbrun. Forsberg rounds out the rest of the course and brings it up the hill. Ryan Sage, let's look at this again, but very apparent. Hilbrun goes into the grass.
Well, Hilbrun was certainly putting pressure on Forsberg after that first run, and Forsberg made that little bit of what seemed to be a mistake right on that inside clip right there. And you can see Hilbrun is going to lose a little bit of ground here, and he's going to start pushing super hard. And right here, as we get into this second outer zone and this inside clip right here, he's going to spin. And he's going to basically force into air as Forsberg needs to finish the course. He does do that, but unfortunately for Hilbrun, it looks like at first glance he just over-rotates the car right by inside clip number 2.
Yeah, I mean, Hilbrun, as you said, he pushed hard from the beginning, backed off, and Forsberg, you know, it wasn't the best as far as the horseshoe, but Hilbrun compensated for that, took that tighter line into the keyhole, and ended up sending himself into the grass. Let's go to the judges. Slide him left for Forsberg, right for Hilbrun, and Chris Forsberg gets the victory, advancing on. Unfortunately for Hilbrun, takes that shallower line, has to dive on the inside, but I mean, I'll tell you what, Hilbrun had a great lead run. He looked really strong out there. You know, if Hilbrun kept it together, I probably would have said that would have gone one more time, maybe even sliding towards Hilbrun.
I thought Hilbrun was extremely aggressive in his first run. And, you know, Chris had a little bit of an error, at least from my side of things, on inside clip 1 that would have given him, you know, the upper hand in run number 2. And Hilbrun just made that mistake right there at a very important part of the course. But coming back down the hill, if he was able to get through there with fluidity, he had a good chance of beating Forsberg.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was right there. And just seeing where Hilbrun's at, and yeah, that was close. Look at that. We got fans watching from Greece at 4 a.m. Thank you so much for tuning in all over the country. I know, who was it? Quite a few drivers texting me and messaging. So hashtag FDATL, let everybody know you're out here. Levi Clark. What do we got here? Make FD rowdy again. It's up to you. Oh, you're making FD rowdy again. There we go. All right, that's a family show. Easy, easy. Ryan Sage is about that life. All right, well, some of these signs I can't read. It's a family show. All right, we are sending cars here for the second half of this James Dean Matfield battle. If you can recall, Matfield and James Dean got into it. Matfield was at fault, so he's sitting on that. But knowing Matfield, he's going to push hard. He knows he's going against James Dean, winner in round 1. And here goes Field. Look at that. Getting into the dirt. James Dean keeps his composure out front. Into that first outer zone. James Dean doesn't get all the way out there, but Matfield keeps that proximity. Out of the horseshoe, Matfield takes a straight line approach. That's not how you want to exit there, Field. But James Dean out front. Matt knew he had to apply the pressure, but unfortunately it was not there. Unfortunately, and especially given that contact in the first portion of that battle.
Well, Field really did need to push it and take some risks here, and he did just that. It may not pay off for him, but you can see he's already pushing hard coming through the first corner there. Drops the tire, gets right back on it. Dean out front looking solid here. He's going to get out to this second outer zone, but come up just a tiny bit short there. And then right here, Field is going to really push hard, and he's just going to miscalculate this turn quite a bit here. Goes over that cone that is a marker for the drivers to see in this weather here, or through the smoke cloud, and then finish up there. So Matfield and James Dean, the run is in the books. The teams will await the winner here as we finish up the first half of the top 16.
Yeah, I mean, we're only, I feel like we're already in the grade 8, but not just yet. We have half of it already shaped up, and I should say now after this we'll have half. Slide him left for Dean, right for Field. And the judges say James Dean is your winner unanimously. James Dean advances on, unfortunately, for the Field family. I know Grandma was here and Matt wanted to put it down, and he did just that. Hold your head high, Matt Field, as, again, James Dean advances on, knocking out the Falcon Tire driver of Matt Field. But there's a Falcon Tire still in the game, that being James Dean. So halfway through the top 16. 4 drivers already in the grade 8. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec Odell, James Dean, Chris Forsberg. Who's going to join them? Mike Essa or Dean Carnage Carney? These guys have gone against each other one time before, with Carney getting the victory in his Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles Radial. Mike Essa in the Essa Autosports Achilles Radial BMW. Let's see how he throws down. You can see the horsepower numbers here, 900, 1350 from these guys. All right, Mike Essa. You can see Mike Essa will lead. Essa qualified second, so he's got to have a lot of confidence on his side, under his helmet, and behind the wheel. Dean Carnage Carney, Laurent Nickel caught up with him. He talked about some of those mistakes. He's gonna better it. He's just gonna put it together and ride the wave, man. This is Road Atlanta. This is a fun event. Atlanta, how you feeling out there? Make some noise. Yeah, feeling it right now. Yeah. All right, so Essa. Man, yeah, Ryan Lontaine says if everybody could just blow as hard or maybe fan their hands, we'll clear out all the haze here. That is the smoke. It looks like we are clear to send. You can see Shane the starter. Hit the button. We're ready to send it here. Michael Essa, Dean Kearney doing battle. Through the start chicane. No cones were hurt in the making of this battle. Michael Essa out front. Dean Kearney dropping into formation. Essa initiates. Kearney a little bit later around that first front clip. Look at the cloud of smoke that comes off Essa's car. That isn't a variable. That is a smoke screen. Now, Dean right there though, not phased, gets just in front of it. Transitions through, going up muscle memory. Look at Dean, great execution there. He's not mirroring the exact angle, but he's keeping great proximity, and especially given one of the vehicles that creates the most amount of smoke out of anybody in the field. Hat tip to Dean Carnage Kearney.
Well, yeah, I mean, props to both drivers here because Michael Essa makes it very challenging for Dean Kearney to follow in his wake here because he's putting down a massive plume of smoke. Michael Essa does a really good job on this second outer zone here and this first inside clip. Just pushes a little bit wide there, but he's close to it. Now watch this. Essa's going to basically disappear. Kearney is basically driving pure muscle memory here, is still maintaining really good proximity, especially coming out of the keyhole from the horseshoe. So great job by both drivers. Very exciting battle. And now we're basically walking through a very thick white cloud of Achilles tire smoke from Michael Essa and Dean Kearney.
All right, so I will take Ryan Lontaine's advice. Let's start a wave here. We're going to start a wave with the Drift Scum fellas first, and ladies, because I know there's Drift Scum ladies down there. So on three, we're going to wave your hands, and we're going to come right in front of the tower, go that way, and then all the way around, okay? So on three, let's start a wave. Maybe we can get some of this smoke out here. 1, 2, 3, put your hands up. Drift Scum coming this way, coming towards judges' stand. Team Rowdy, where are you at? Come on. There we go. Keep it going. Come on, coming all the way around. It's going across the hill. It's going across. Oh, dude, seriously? Seriously, you guys burnt down all your easy ups and you don't do the wave? All right, let's try it again. Drift Scum, are you ready? You guys ready? All right, on three. 1, 2, 3, go. Put your hands up. Come on, it's coming your way. Okay, all right. Well, maybe you can't see what's going on the other side of the track because I definitely can't see the fans over there. Well, I'll take Daryl David's advice and we'll add the lights in there. We'll shine it out. All right, so. All right, so our officials are saying that, yeah, there we go. All right, everybody put all out your lights. There you go, shine it up. All right, everybody put your lights away. Put them down so you can't see them. Everybody put them down real quick, all right? So we're going to start here at the judges' tower. I'm going to start the thing, and it's coming towards Team Rowdy. It's going to go all the way around on the other side, okay? So on three, when it comes past you, you're going to shine it up, okay? 1, 2, 3, boom, go. It's going towards you, Team Rowdy. Put your lights up. Everybody put them up. They're coming around. It's a wave. It's coming to the other side. Not at the same time, people. Oh, okay. All right, it's going that way. It's going reverse. We got a double vortex here. It's coming all the way around. Okay, you got to put him back down. It's coming around. Wait for the smoke to clear. Coming across the track. There it is, coming across the track. Come over here, come on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're in reverse direction. We're in Australia now. The toilet flush is the opposite direction. Coming around, nice job. Let's see, again, this might work. I think it's clearing out the smoke. This might very well just work. Coming back towards us across the track. What do you got there? Rowdy coming towards you. Boom, towards the judges' tower. Drift Scum. Here we go. Back to the action. Here we go. Dean Carnage Carney and Michael Essa. Dean initiates into that first front clip. And look at that now. Michael Essa getting a taste of his own Achilles. Into that second outer zone. Nice job, Michael Essa, keeping that composure. Dean with really great car plays, but you can't even see Essa. Essa is nowhere to be found. Oh my goodness. Somebody call the cops. They just killed this track. That was unbelievable. Look at the smoke just blooming out of these guys' cars.
Well, we're seeing a very strong battle here between these two competitors. Great initiation right there by Dean Carney. Even quicker initiation by Michael Essa. Snappy, but he's going to fall back a little bit here. He's going to be trying to make up some ground. Now let's take a look here as Dean fills that second outer zone. He goes very deep, a little bit deeper than Essa than on his lead. Now Essa right here is going to fall back for a second. Almost looks like he loses angle coming out of the keyhole there. Dean maintaining a really strong line, is able to establish even a further distance from Essa. So great job by Dean there. Strong run by both competitors, and this lingering cloud of smoke here is just absolutely unbelievable.
It's silly. It's straight silly. I mean, it's, oh my goodness, there is a lot of smoke lingering. I mean, two of the smokiest cars out there, and Essa is just a holy roller. That thing is just a smoke machine. As we can see, Ryan Turk just out of focus there.
Yeah, and that is the smoke.
That's the smoke affecting the lens.
Yeah, we get a much clearer view from the cameras, but here in person, it's you can barely see maybe 50 feet in front of you.
Yeah, you can't see cross track, that's for sure. All right, here are the judges' verdict. Dean Carnage Carney, Michael Essa. Slide him left for Kearney and right for Essa. Going to the judges. Ryan says Dean Kearney. Brian says one more time, and Andy says Dean Kearney gets the victory. Dean Kearney gets the victory, knocking out our number 2 qualifier, Michael Essa. And Dean advances on to the Great 8. So right now I am seeing Chelsea DeNofa and Ryan Turk. Chelsea DeNofa and Ryan Turk. These guys have never seen battle against each other. That's very surprising. All right, so you got a few moments here as the smoke is dissipating. We're seeing it just barely. We can almost see it from the judging tower with our naked eye up to the start line. But download the app. Download the app, the Formula Drift app, live scoring, alerts and stats, exclusive Formula Drift content, breaking news alerts, get notifications. And also, if you are interested in the rewards program, download it if you're watching live stream or here live, FDRA for 50 points going towards your FD Fan Rewards program. Exclusive games and content and contests and special video features. So thanks for joining us, and download the app now, available on App Store or Google Play. And there we are seeing Dean hugging Mr. Bridges, who helps operate his team, the Gas Monkey Energy, feeling it through his veins right now. So Dean Carnage Carney, congratulations, moves on to the Great 8. Now, Chelsea DeNofa, Ryan Turk. All right, Chelsea DeNofa, Ryan Turk on the start line. DeNofa, BC Racing. Center line wheels, Nitto tires, Ford Mustang. Ryan Turk, Gum Out, Black Magic, Intense Tire Wet, Nameless Performance Hankook tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota 86. All right, we are setting the car. At least some of the smoke is dissipated. And here it comes. Denofa out front. Ryan Turk in chase. And here comes Denofa initiating. Transitioning, Ryan Turk in tow. Denofa with that RTR Mustang. Loosey-goosey up the hill. Works it into the outer zone. Look at that, just working it all the way out there. Ryan Turk allowing to transition. Denofa throwing some more angle at it. And the smoke cloud continues here at Road Atlanta.
Well, Jared, we talked about how important the initiation is, not only for the lead driver, but even as important the chase. Looks like Turk gets maybe not the greatest approach to his initiation that he wanted to, and it put him on a line that when he transitioned up the hill, he lost some ground to Denofa here. Now Denofa is going to fill that second outer zone. Turk is going to be looking for an area to attack here on the inside. Kind of straightens up a little bit to gain proximity. Good strategic move there, but will receive a slight deduction for doing that, and then Turk is able to stick it with him. But Denofa out front looking solid. Very aggressive driving, was able to hit most of the outer zones and the inside clips, so he's put down a very solid lead run that Ryan Turk is going to have to match.
Man, I'd love to see this just like from a satellite view, just what it looks like with all the smoke coming out. Just like, yeah, getting fully tranced. Shimron, that you? As it will be Ryan Turk out front and Chelsea Denofa in the chase position. I mean, the international flags that represent a lot of the countries that are competing in Formula Drift are just completely at a standstill. I mean, barely wavering, fluttering whatsoever. Okay, so as you can see, Turk will now lead. We have already 5 drivers in the grade 8, 3 more battles left of the top 16. Look at that. Yeah, that's a great angle showing you just the kitty litter. This is actually looking at right in the middle of that shot is clipping point number 1, which eventually becomes clipping point number 3. So down on the ground, you can see how it just lingers there in the smoke bowl. Well, here we go. We're going to start it out. Second half of this battle. Ryan Turk out front. Chelsea Denofa in the chase position. Nice job by Chelsea Denofa initiating at the same time. Separation out of the gate. Turk ripping up the hill. Here comes Denofa. Look at Denofa gaining that ground. Ryan Turk firing off into that front clip, into the keyhole. Denofa transitions out, as does Ryan Turk. Sounding like fireworks out the back of that Toyota 86. Man, these guys are on fire.
Well, the latter part of the course, Turk fights back here. You can see this initiation here for Turk. Denofa doesn't get right to him on initiation, but he does start to close the door up the hill here. And as we get into the horseshoe, you can see Denofa, better job there closing the door. Turk gets out to that outer zone. Denofa right there, pushing it hard. Backfire from Ryan Turk. Now down the hill. Separation here. Turk gets some on Chelsea Denofa and is able to make a statement here across the finish line as he establishes that gap through that last section of the course and that final inside clip.
All right, we see the fans. We're hearing some fans chanting one more time. Where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Here's the side-by-side. Where are my Chelsea Denofa fans at? Who thinks they should go one more time?
Well, let's take a look at this here, and we'll bring in Ryan Lantain. You can see Turk was a lot closer on initiation, but then fell off. Denofa here really closing the door, going up the hill, and you can see Turk getting in out to that outer zone, but Chelsea Denofa maybe did it a tiny bit cleaner there. Turk straight lines it right there to try to close proximity and get a little bit closer. And then on Turk's lead, you can see this separation here towards the end. So a good back and forth battle here. Both drivers having some really high points in their drifting and a couple little mistakes. So we'll see how it goes here as we try to wrap up the second half of the top 16.
All right, so again, where are my Ryan Turk fans at? Where are my Chelsea Denofa fans at? Oh, Denofa got a little louder there. Where are my One More Time fans at? Well, there's one more time. Andy says Chelsea Denofa. Brian says one more time. They're going at it again. Putin, Eggert, one more time. Google it. I did, and they said one more time. There you go, Ray. Got what you asked for. Looked it up. So right now, Chelsea Denofa caught up with Alec Odell at the top of the hill.
Alec Odell, moving on, congratulations, but you are fighting through a lot of challenges still.
Yeah, it's coming together, but nothing's perfect yet. So running low boost right now, I ended up running 4 pounds, so had to put her all on the line, clutch kicking and all. So, but we made it. We're up against Vaughn Gittin Jr. now, and on to the next one.
Okay, so what's the plan for Vaughn Gittin Jr.?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're trying to get the car as fast as we can get it. You know, his car is definitely not slow. That thing's pretty quick. So we know if the car is running 100%, we'll definitely be right there with them. If not, I'm going to have to drive my ass off. So that'll be fun.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Hillary, and thank you, a.k.a. Diddy, Alec Odell. Glee is yeah, fact.
Did you say thank you, Hillary?
No. What did I say? Thank you, Hillary?
I think so.
Odell. I said thank you, Diddy. Diddy, a.k.a. Alec Odell.
It's on tape. I'm thinking.
I just want to thank Hillary, too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hillary. Let's give us shout-outs. All right, it's going to be huge. Here we go. So we are seeing Christos Blush and Nate Hamilton. Here we go. Blush, Hamilton. Blush initiates. Hamilton keeping a mild execution here out of the gate, but Blush is firing up into that horseshoe. Nate Hamilton not getting all the way out, but now tightens up to that vehicle of Kristaps. And Hamilton coming down the hill, correction from Hamilton. And now bringing it on around Kristaps and Hamilton.
Well, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Blues in the lead position, out of the gate like a rocket ship here. And you can see Hamilton already struggling to maintain the distance that he needs in order to compete with Blues. Blues does not fill that zone completely, but he does hit that inside flip. Now let's watch Hamilton in the chase position here. He drives over the inside of the lane there on the grass, goes completely off course, and then he shuts it down right before the finish line. So tough break there for Nate Hamilton. A solid lead run for Kristaps Blush. And now we'll mix it up. Nate Hamilton goes to the lead. Kristaps Blush will chase him down.
So we'll revisit the one more time of Denofa and Turk. After this, we have Mohan and Vincek. But Hamilton and Blues finish out the rest of this battle. Let's see how Hamilton throws it down here out front. And Kristaps in the chase position. Yeah, we got a packed house here, Ryan. It's definitely cool to see. I mean, you know, these fans have endured some crazy weather. It was cold, it was hot, it was raining. Now it is ideal outside of just smoky, but you know what you're getting into. Here we go. Hamilton out front, Kristaps Blush in the chase position. And Hamilton into that first front flip. Kristaps Blush keeps his composure. Kristaps now gaining some ground into that second outer zone. Goes Hamilton, nice job there. And Kristaps into the keyhole and out in tow of Hamilton. Back up the hill goes Hamilton and Blush.
Well, run number 2, here we go. Kristaps Blush and Nate Hamilton. Hamilton almost comes to a slowdown here. Blush good to avoid contact there, stays on it, keeps that distance pretty close to Hamilton, straightens up for a second there. Now remember, Hamilton went completely off course as he passes a second inside flip on run number 1. So Blush is looking to minimize his mistakes here and make sure that he keeps the pressure on Hamilton to assure the win, and it looks like he does just that as he wraps around that last corner.
All right, so as you can see, the drivers waiting for the verdict. So here is a replay. I believe the judges want to take a look at the start here, talking about the red line. Does because there's a red line. It hasn't come into play, so no explanation has been needed. Okay, so looks like they are good. The judges are saying there's no foul play there or impeding on the line at the start. Hamilton and Blues. Slide him left for Hamilton, right for Blues. And Kristaps gets the victory, knocking out Little Tech's Nate Hamilton. So Blues advances on into the Grade 8. Nate Hamilton's evening has come to an end. But definitely still hold your head high. And Juku Racing, BC Racing. All right, so as we wait for our next battle, we have Lorette Nickel, who is with Dean Kearney.
So it might be a surprise to some that this track isn't a great fit for your car. Why is that?
Yeah, this track doesn't really suit our car. It's more kind of a style of car. It's got lots of mechanical grip, and it's quite heavy actually. It doesn't have a lot of steering angle. This is a course that you need like maximum amount of steering angle on the first corner and the keyhole. So you always have to this car, you feel like you're treading out the needle a little bit all the time with it. So you have to drive it on a knife edge, and these guys are all so fast now. You have to wind in so much grip, higher grip and mechanical grip, that you really have to work for it,
Dean, congratulations, you're moving on.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Here's the one more time battle between Denofa and Turk. Can I get one of those? Well, Ryan Sage and Drift fans, the one more time between Chelsea Denofa and Ryan Turk. Ryan Turk has seen a one more time battle against Dio Shihara previously. And Denofa took on Taylor Hull to get to this point. One of these guys is advancing on to do battle against Dean Carnage Kearney. He talks about how this track favors him. We'll find out. All right, so here we go. Denofa out front, Ryan Turk in the chase position. Here it comes, the other RTR Mustang of Denofa. Denofa on initiation, throws it in. Using all the track, out to the rumble strip. Tight to the front clip. Turk dives into the smoke signal. Denofa, more angle into that second outer zone. Into the horseshoe. Goes the Mustang and the 86. Now out of the horseshoe, Denofa, look at the degree of angle. Ryan Turk gained some proximity, and up the hill they go. Man, these guys are just going at each other. This is a boxing match.
Well, I think Turk gets a much better start this time around because there's not that separation going up the hill like there was on the first run, but Denofa is also stepping up his game as well, maxing out the angle through this second inside, or outer zone rather. He's not going to get fully deep into it, gets into it a little bit late, but look at the angle right here on inside clip 2. Turk maintaining really good pressure on Denofa, then big angle right here from Denofa down the hill. Turk through the smoke line, keeps the pressure on. Nice first run here by Ryan Turk and Chelsea Denofa.
Now Ryan Turk will be out front. Denofa in the chase position. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of smoke here, or excuse me, a little bit of wind clearing out the smoke. And here it is. who's advancing on. We have one more battle after this. If this does not go to a one more time, it will be Kyle Mohan and Peter Vincik from Poland. All right, so we are good. The start light illuminates, and it's off. Ryan Turk out front, Chelsea Denofa in the chase position. Come on now, here we go. Make some noise, Atlanta. Ryan Turk straight on in. Chelsea Denofa right there. Wheel to wheel. Up the hill, Denofa. Wow, look at that door to door. Turk doesn't get all the way out to the outer zone. He tightens up to that front flip. Takes it out. And Turk rounds out the rest of the course. Denofa falls back. But Denofa had a phenomenal, whoa, it goes off course there, but that was after the finish line. Looks like Denofa got a little squirrely.
Great start here by both drivers. Denofa just on fire on this first half of the course here. You can see he initiates right with Turk, stays with him on the inside here, puts a lot of pressure on Turk up the hill. Great job here. Super close, putting angle in the car to make sure he doesn't make contact. But then right here, he's going to fall off and miss that second inside clip. It allows Turk to accelerate forward. Now Denofa's playing catch up here. You can see this gap established. And as they wrap around that last inside clip, Denofa's going to push hard and narrowly go off course there. But at the beginning, they were very close together on initiation.
All right, so as we are seeing Turk and Denofa waiting the outcome, two fierce battles between them. This one more time battle. Are they going at it again, or do we have a winner? Ryan Turk or Denofa? Slide him left for Turk, and Ryan Turk gets the victory. It was 2-1. 2-1 as Andy says one more time, and Ryan Turk gets the victory and advances on. Ryan Lantain, going to you, but between those two battles, I mean, they had a great first battle, going to this one more time, but 2-1. Ryan Turk missed that outside zone, but what were the other moments that stood out in comparison to Denofa?
Well, I just talked to Eggert, and he agreed with me that the biggest problem, what pushed us over the edge from a one more time to Ryan Turk winning, is that he really fell off from outside zone 2 all the way to the finish. Chelsea didn't have the proximity. He fell way off. Missed inside clip 2, and just proximity was non-existent from there on. Had he been able to maintain proximity throughout the rest, absolutely, we would have definitely done a one more time in that sense, because it would have been really close. But unfortunately, it was just that lack of proximity throughout the horseshoe to the finish line, whereas Ryan Turek in his chase had maybe less proximity early on, but he maintained the whole the proximity throughout the entire course.
It wasn't up and down. It was more of a consistent, even keel.
Exactly, because you could see there that there were, maybe 10, 15 car lengths between Turek and Chelsea by the finish line. So
that's more of a stab versus like a nice kind of chopping it up a little bit.
Yeah, you want to maintain the more proximity throughout the entire course, as opposed to a lot for a short period of time.
The duration is very important.
Yeah.
Our final battle of the top 16, Peter Vincik versus Kyle Mohan. These guys have not seen battle against each other, and we have yet to see Kyle Mohan in top 16, so it's great to see him in the mix. Kyle Mohan, Peter Vincik, as Peter will lead that Wordhouse Drift team, Sylvia S15. He qualified 11th, Mohan qualifying 27th, and all right, Peter Vincik will lead. Our final battle of the top 16, who's advancing on to go against Christos Blues? Because with Turk winning, he goes against Dean Carnage Kearney. And here we go. So, Peter out front. Kyle Mohan in chase. Big gap already established. Peter was talking about some of the gremlins under the hood of his Wordhouse Drift S15. And now out of the horseshoe goes Peter. Kyle Mohan, just not part of the equation, unfortunately for him. and his built to apex Mazda Tricks. Next to tires, MX-5. Peter just a dominant force here.
Well, we heard from Kyle earlier in the weekend, trying to get some more power out of the vehicle, doing some power adders and some nitrous, and work in progress here. You can see he's going to fall way far behind Peter as we go up the hill here, probably about a 10-car length distance. Peter right here, he's going to go a bit long on that second inside clip there, so a mistake from him, but you can still see this gap is established as he tries to run the proper line. Kyle Mohan trying to tie up that rear end there and close the gap, but unable to towards the end. And so now Peter will go to the chase position, Kyle will go to the lead, and we'll start run at number 2 of this final battle in the top 16.
Kyle Mohan will now lead. Peter Vincek will give chase. Kyle Mohan will lead. And we can see the red lights illuminate. Kyle really needs to throw down a serious run here. Oh, we got some cones over. We got a few cones over here, as that will be a restart. Okay, we have a few start cones over. That will just be 1 strike. All right, that's 1 strike against Kyle Mohan. 3 strikes and you're out. And the gentlemen are back up there in their respective spots. Again, the final battle of the top 16. Already in the grade 8, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec, Hahn, Odell, James Dean, Chris Forsberg, Kearney, Turk, Blues, and one of these gentlemen. And there we go. We got a clean start. Mohan or Vincek. Mohan initiates. Peter giving himself some room. This could be strategy. This could be playing out for him. Oh, no, look at that. Now reeling him in. As Mohan. Good job for him. But, you know, you have to think these guys saw Mohan go against Osbo, and that's where Osbo checked up, but now giving himself enough room, now chasing him down and across the finish line. Mohan and Peter Vincek.
Well, Jared, as we take a look at the replay here, you're going to see a very deliberate approach here by Peter Vincek right there. You can see he's slowly creeping down into initiation. He's looking to try to catch Kyle going up the hill here. Now, he may have let him get away a little bit more than I would have been comfortable with, but then he's able to catch him right here in the horseshoe. He's right on that back bumper through that second inside clip. Now, as he moves down the hill here, he's going to search for it again, try to close the door even further through the smoke line, butts right through in that last inside clip as Kyle goes a little bit long on that final inside clip. And now the battle is over, and we'll go to the judges for the final result.
Yeah, who is the final driver joining and going, I should say, who's going against Christoph Blusch? Slide him left for Mohan, slide him right for Peter, and Peter Vincek gets the victory. Peter Vincek gets the victory and advances on into the grade 8. So our grade 8 is set. Gittin, Honadale, Dean, Forsberg, Kearney, Turk, Blusch, and Vincek. When we come back, we'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, our grade 8 is upon us. Don't go anywhere. Round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras when we return here to Road Atlanta. All right, so there you see Peter Vincek. It looks like really in contact with his team, saying, what is going on here? Look at that, he's still psyched. So it looked like he was frustrated there more than elated. But and next up, we have Lorette Nickel, who is with Ryan Turk.
So the first thing Ryan Turk is doing when he gets to the hot pits, checking in his car, his team is already on it, but the first thing that you said to me was, man, that was so tough. Walk us through why.
Yeah, Chelsea's one of the hardest driving guys on this in this field of drivers, and you know, about as hardest charging as his teammate Vaughn Gittin Jr. So I knew it was going to be a tough battle. I screwed up on my first lap and just kind of jumped the light a little too much, and he didn't pull up as hard as I thought he was going to, so that kind of screwed me on my first lap a little bit, where I just had too much angle coming through the first clip, and it kind of just dragged me out. I was trying to play catch up the rest of the lap. Second lap, I actually, on my lead, I had a decent lead. My boost coupler actually came up hard, so there was no boost pressure going through the motor, so the motor was down on power, but I was able to go down a gear. It actually made the car faster around the track. So I was able to pull a little bit of a gap on him about through the last half, and I think that's what gave us a one more time. And then a one more time battle, I just kind of cleaned up my entry on chasing him down. Had a good chase, and then turned the tables. He had a good chase too, but I was able to gap him right on the last part of the track, and I guess that's what gave us the win.
Great driving.
Thank you.
Guys?
These guys are just thrashing. I mean, you know, between the hardworking teams, the drivers, the spotters. Hey, round of applause for all these drivers out here competing. Pro 2, Pro. Round of applause for all the drivers, teams, crews, sponsors. These guys are absolutely thrashing out here and putting on one heck of a show for not only you here in the building, but those watching online and around the world. So, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec Odell, our first battle of the Great Eight. And this should be a doozy. I was just talking with Alec Odell's spotter. He says his supercharger belt keeps loosening up. So that could mean catastrophe, but he says it's working. So he'll hold it together. So right now, he's going against one of the best in the biz. Can he make it a perfect event? He was your winner here last year. He's your #1 qualifier. Can he advance on to the Final Four? If he makes it to the Final Four, that guarantees, at minimum, a podium spot because he's our #1 qualifier. So, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec Odell. Vaughn Gittin Jr. out front. Alec Odell in the chase position. Out of the start chicane. We got a clean start. Here comes Vaughn. Throws it. Sideways into that first front clip. Both of them right on it. Odell losing some ground as Vaughn, again, similar to Chelsea Nopo, obviously so. And look at Odell right there. Proximity, loses some ground, loses some angle, but hangs tough. Man, these guys are just going for it.
Well, we're certainly starting to see Odell increase his game quite a bit, run by run. Gittin looks consistent as usual here in his lead position, right through that inside clip. Nice job there by Gittin. Odell not letting him get away, maybe a tiny bit less angle there coming up the hill. Gittin trying to shoot deep for that zone. He comes a little bit late into it, but real good job there. And then right here, pouring it on is Odell, trying to close the door through the smoke line. Muscle memory here, dives through that last inside clip and makes a fight of it here as these two guys battle it out under the lights. Switching it up now, Alec Odell to the lead. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will chase him down.
All right, so Alec now out front, and the Nexon and Nitto Tire smoke filling the Coliseum, the Gladiator Coliseum here. Look at that long shot. You can see, you can't even see the start line. This is our view from the judges' tower. With the naked eye, you could just make out the headlights. Want to put on the best show possible. You can see, again, that's taking a look back at the judges stand. Judges stand there off to the far left. That's the Team Rowdy tent there. So letting the smoke dissipate just a little bit more to make sure. Got some good sight. And looks like we have a rematch from Long Beach of Dean and Forsberg coming up next. So don't go anywhere. Alec Odell, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Odell initiates. Actually, Vaughn seemed almost even maybe a little bit earlier than Odell. Odell pulling away from Gittin into that second outer zone. Odell gets into the dirt, Great composure, killer line by Odell. Vaughn Gittin Jr. A little bit of role reversal here for an FD veteran and a rising star of the FD paddock. Ryan, what say you?
Lead to lead, chase to chase. The comparison and who was better overall. Alec Odell comes firing out of the start line, down the hill into that first inside clip. Gittin right there, tucks up on the inside. Odell starting to pull away here. Now he's going to get really deep into this zone. Right there, just reaching out into that outer zone as deep as you possibly can, painting the line, getting through this center section here. Now starting to pull away is Odell, and just a tremendous job here by both competitors as Odell puts a stamp on it towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. His team just absolutely elated on what's going on there. So, you know, definitely gaining some applause from the fans. And, of course, his team. So, man, kudos to Odell. That was absolutely on point. So here we go, going to the judges. Odell or Gittin? Slide him left for Odell, right for Gittin. Vaughn Gittin Jr., our #1 qualifier, and he is defeated by Alec Odell. Alec Odell takes out Vaughn Gittin Jr., and there it is. Alec Odell moves on to the Final Four, taking out Vaughn Gittin Jr. And, I mean, going to Lontaine here, you know, I wouldn't consider that an upset, but on paper, you got this veteran. You have the #1 qualifier. Vaughn had a great lead run, but, man, Alec was on fire on that lead run. What say you?
So looking at the leads, it looked like Gittin did pretty well up until outside zone 2. He wasn't as deep as Odell got in outside zone 2 on the lead side of things. The one thing against Odell on the lead was he had a lower amount of angle at the finish line, but that was right at the finish line itself. Overall, really good lead run from Odell, which is why I gave the win to Odell in that respect. On the chase side of things, Odell had a great amount of proximity all the way throughout the course. He never really let Vaughn get away from him anywhere on the track. It was a consistent amount of angle and a consistent amount of proximity, and it was a high level all the way through, whereas Vaughn was a little bit spottier on his proximity and also did not have quite the line that Odell did through outside zone 2. He was a little bit inside there to make up a little bit of proximity. So in that case, Odell wins the lead and the chase and gets the win overall.
Yeah, thank you for all the explanation on behalf of the judges and your insight. So this is essentially a repeat from Long Beach. James Dean, Chris Forsberg. These guys are going at it again. We saw them in Long Beach. And James Dean, he qualified 13th. Chris Forsberg qualified 21st. This should be an interesting battle here. And again, the winner going against Alec Odell in the Final Four. Ryan psyched about it. Alec Odell qualifying 8th. All right, here we go. Lights are off. That means it's on. James Dean out front. Chris Forsberg will be given chase. James Dean, feint entry right in front of Forsberg. Initiate into that first front clip. James Dean into that first outer zone, pulling away from Chris Forsberg, bringing it in to that second outer zone. James Dean not exactly as deep as possible. Chris Forsberg in that chase position, keeping it consistent, very fluid from both the drivers. James Dean, a solid run out front, but again, that outer zone there didn't get all the way out there.
And we know the judges are paying close attention to all the clips and the outer zones. You can see Dean right there, nice and tight on that clip. Forsberg taps it just a little bit. Dean up the hill, good angle here. Forsberg falling back a little bit, but like you said, Jared, a little bit short on that second outer zone. And you can see right there, Forsberg tucks up on the inside, right on that back bumper. Good transition back around now going down the hill. Forsberg is within half a car length through the smoke line there, and they do that final inside clip. And a strong battle here between James Dean and Chris Forsberg in the Great 8.
Can Forsberg get some redemption here against James Dean, taking him out? Here we go. So Forsberg out front. James Dean wants to advance on and taste that sweet victory once again, just like he did in Long Beach, the Wordhouse Drift team. Chris Forsberg in his NOS Energy Drink hand-cooked tires, Nameless Performance 370Z. James Dean on Falcon tires, the Wordhouse Drift Team S15. His teammate Peter Vincic still in contention and in competition. Chris Forsberg will lead. James Dean giving chase. Who's going against Odell in the final four? Oh, and looks like it is a restart here. All right, Forsberg. Again, there. Oh, gosh. So, Forsberg will lead. Looks like that will be a restart for Forsberg and Dean. And here it goes. Can the defending champion get some redemption from Long Beach, or is James Dean going to score some more points at a run for a championship? James Dean initiates right there, door-to-door with Forsberg, into that first front clip. James Dean not shaken, now making their way up the hill. Can Forsberg fill that second outer zone? Almost a similar line to that of James Dean, and James Dean is right there in the mix. Transitions around. And there's Forsberg around that final clip. And James Dean just with a nice, good composure run. Forsberg had a solid lead run. Their lead runs looked fairly identical.
Well,
Ryan?
Dean makes a very risky maneuver here, but it looks like it pays off. I mean, he is literally door-to-door with Chris Forsberg around that first inside clip, narrowly touching there, and just an incredible job maintaining pace. Like you said, Forsberg's second outer zone is similar to James Dean, so maybe the lead runs are equivalent. It may come down to the chase runs here as we look at this battle coming around the final turn here. We see Chris Forsberg hit that inside clip perfectly, a little bit of separation there as they cross the finish line.
The distance between Dean and Forsberg right there. You know, Dean doesn't get the back end of the car exactly where it should be, but he's not fully exceeding. I wouldn't say he's in front of Forsberg. I'd say he's just kind of right next to him. It would have been a little slicker and just that much more dominant if he was just backed up probably a wheel length, a wheel distance. But you could see that there, and that's what I was talking about. I mean, look how close Dean is.
Just incredible right there, that front right wheel and not making contact. And usually a high-risk maneuver like that will result in contact, and then we got to talk about it. We got to find out who's at fault and the whole thing. So nice job there, and great run.
All right, let's see.
I got nervous. I messed up in my drawing, but I think doing it live makes it more like.
So as again, we are seeing. Okay, this is side by side here with James Dean out front, Chris Forsberg out front on the right. You can see past that front clip, transitioning. The separation from Forsberg to Dean on that second on the left side. So like I said, those lead runs fairly similar.
Yeah, I think if you really focus on the lead runs, they're going to look pretty similar here. I think the chase is going to be maybe leaning the scales in terms of the decision of what direction the judges are going to go. And, of course, we'll get Ryan Lantain on here to talk about how he votes. But the judges taking a look at all the angles, the side-by-side, and everything else in order to get ourselves a victor. Here we go.
All right, do we have a victor? Who's going against Hahn today on the final four? Left for Forsberg, right for Dean. Ryan says, and everybody says, James Dean. James Dean from Ireland takes out the defending champion once again here in Atlanta. As Ryan Lantain, it was unanimous.
Yeah, the side-by-side really showed it really well. Dean got really close, very, very close on initiation. Through inside clip 1, much closer than Forsberg was to him on his chase, and maintained that proximity all the way throughout the course, better than Forsberg did on his chase. So a big win for Dean in the chase side. On the lead side, I say they were pretty close, but Dean still did a little bit better in a couple of areas that gave him that slight edge on the lead side. But I'd really say it was the strong chase that overall gave Dean the big win.
All right. So as we are looking here, and all right, so taking a look at what went down. This is Ryan Turk versus Dean Carnage Kearney. Ryan Turk will lead. Dean will give chase. Now, Ryan Turk has seen a lot of battles this evening. Again, one more time with Dio Shahara, one more time with Denofa, which put him here. Dean had to make his way through Dan Burkett, and a tough battle between Michael Essa. But now it is Turk and Kearney. Here we go, Ryan Turk out of the start chicane. Dean Kearney in the chase position. Turk shimmies his way there. Dean Kearney with a straight line approach. Is that too much? No, he hangs on. The Achilles radials hook up as Ryan Turk in that gum out Black Magic 86 brings it into the horseshoe, and Dean Kearney is possessed. Carnage living up to his name. Great lead run by Ryan Turk. Look at Dean, horsepower on deck. Woo! Dean bragged about it. He talked about it. He talked to Lorette and said this car is made for this track.
Well, I love the approach that he has here. This is a very high-risk maneuver, initiating right there, coming into that first corner, and it nearly pays off perfectly. He just falls back for a second here, but then uses that horsepower to get back on the throttle. Meanwhile, Ryan Turk, tremendous job on that second outer zone. Great line here. He does go just a tiny bit wide on that inside clip, just by about maybe 6 or 12 inches, but a great job nonetheless on the line. But then look at Dean right here through the smoke line, tugging it in on the inside there, and really putting down a solid chase run through the finish line to keep the pressure on Turk.
I think those might be tractor beams and not Oracle lighting LEDs. I think he is just zeroing in, and I mean, it seemed to have worked for him against Essa, and right now that was a solid chase run. Now, how is Dean going to throw down out front? He's got the clean air, or what looks like clean air, but a lot of tire smoke in the air as Ryan Turk will chase. So already 2 cars in the final 4, Odell and James Dean. And Odell qualifying 8th. The only driver that out-qualified him is Christoph Blues, and he'll go against Peter Vinsek. So if Blues loses, Odell's guaranteed a podium at minimum 3rd place. But that would mean that Blues would have to lose. So we will see. Again, here's the second half of this battle. Dean and Turk. Wait for the smoke to clear out just a little bit. And here we go. Kearney out front. Turk in tow. And Dean initiates. Ryan Turk giving himself potentially maybe too much room here. Coming up the hill into the horseshoe. Turk looks like he locks him up a little bit here as Dean gets to the outer zone. Turk nosing in on the door of the Dodge Viper, not mimicking the angle. Dean Carnage carrying the Oracle lighting Dodge Viper, Achilles radial vehicle, brings it across the finish line. Ryan.
Well, remember the first run, how close Dean was. His duration of proximity here. Turk gets out of the gate. But then as we see through the inside clip number 1, you're going to see a little bit of separation there. Remember, Dean had that really risky maneuver where he stayed super close to Turk. Now, Dean does fill that second outer zone completely. He's also pretty tight on that inside clip, but now Turk is putting the pressure on. Straight line for a second, almost by Turk. You can see he's on a little bit of a deeper line as he tries to get through this smoke cloud. Dean continues to accelerate and try to pull distance out of Ryan Turk.
Odell, Dean, already in the final 4. Who's joining him? Kearney or Turk? Slide him left for the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper. Dean Kearney, slide him right for Ryan Turk. And there it is. Dean Carnage Kearney gets the victory and advances on to the Final Four. Odell, James Dean, Dean Carnage Kearney, they're in the finals. And before we move on to our next and final battle of the Grade 8, Kristaps Blus and Peter Vincik, Lorette caught up with the brand new Polish Formula Drift rookie.
Peter is moving on to the Grade 8 for the first time. Congratulations. Now, you were having some problems with second gear. Walk us through that.
Yes, while I was accelerating, I put my second gear and then flat shift, which is on a gear knob, stuck, so car doesn't have a power. I have to accelerate again. I made a clutch kick, and then the car brings the power again, so I was capable of still chasing him, but because of that, he managed to get some advantage. But still, I was able to catch him on between the horseshoe, and oh, I'm so happy. I would like to say dziękuję wszystkim fanom i tym, którzy mnie wspierają z Polski. Jesteście mega. Dziękuję wszystkim, którzy przyjechali mi kibicować. Całuję i trzymajcie kciuki.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette, and thank you, Peter. I love hearing the native language, and I'm assuming just giving a shout home to family and/or friends back at home. Our final battle of the Grade 8, Kristaps Blus, and that gentleman, he is absolutely elated. His first time here in the Grade 8, Peter Vincik. And you look at these, Lorette had some words with Peter, Dean, James Dean, and Dean Carnage Kearney. So are they all going to be in the three? Well, they got to make their way past Kristaps Blus. I say they, but Peter needs to make his way past Kristaps Blus. So Kristaps will lead, and Peter will give chase. All right, so Kristaps, you can see Peter warming up his tires. Kristaps Blus on the start line. Peter Vincik, he will be chasing. So yeah, look at that. Alec Odell, the only American in the mix. James Dean flying the Irish flag. Dean Kearney, two Irish drivers in the Final Four. Is it going to be a Polish driver or a Latvian driver? We're about to find out. Kristaps Blus out of the start gate. We got a clean start. Who's going against Kearney in the Final Four? Here comes Peter into that first front clip. Kristaps taking it out. Shooting that cone across the track. Kristaps ripping into the horseshoe, but just brings it back, tightens it up. Peter Vincik out of the keyhole, but Kristaps Blus, he got second place in Orlando last year, and he looks like he's got that same kind of composure right now. A very exciting driver to watch, but Peter Vincik wants to put a halt to it.
Well, he certainly has the X factor here tonight. He kind of laid low a little bit, and you can see he's now coming out very strong, showing the power and the speed and the versatility of his driving. Right here, you can see he comes up the hill blazing fast, fills that zone, and right here, Peter is able to close the door around that second inside clip. Now through the smoke line, you can see a bit of separation here as Peter tries to get on the throttle to get through this last line of smoke here, but you can see that gap displayed right in front of our lift tower there through the finish line. Switching it up now, Peter Vincik going to the lead, and Kristaps Blus chasing him down.
So as I said, who's going against Kearney, Blus or Peter? Odell and Dean on the other side. They are already in the Final Four. They're on the other side of the Final Four bracket. All right, Peter Vincik, Kristaps Blus. How we feeling out there, Atlanta? Make some noise. Sticking around, finding out who's going to be on top of the podium, who gets the carbon fiber trophies, who's going to the Final Four. Peter or Kristaps initiating into the first front clip. Kristaps looks like he just massaged his vehicle just a little bit to get it close to Peter. You see Peter some wavering into that second outer zone. Kristaps, he's been here before. Peter's first time driving here. You're seeing some exchanges, some fiberglass, some bits. Kristaps on the door of Peter. One last turn for glory. Into the Final Four goes Kristaps. And Kristaps goes into the dirt.
Well, let's see what cone he hit there, because it looks like an orange. And that is the finish line. Look at these orange cones right here. That's the finish line. But look at this Bloosh just crushing it hard right here on that first inside clip. Now watch the difference between him and Peter as they come through this section here. Remember, Peter fell back after inside clip 2, coming down the hill. But Bloosh right there is just on it. Money staying super next to him all the way through the smoke line right here. Now watch this, Jared. You can see right there, he goes off course. He drops at least 2 going off course. Now, we have to remember that 2 tires off is not a 0 anymore. 3 tires off can be a massive deduction. We've seen 4 tires off a 0 or a incomplete. And as we take a look, going back to that, we'll be able to identify exactly what transpired there. But going off course was Kristaps Bloosh right before the finish line.
So the judges reviewing what goes down there, because again, when you start the drift, you need to drift all the way through the finish line. And as Ryan keeps reiterating, the orange cones denote the finish line.
So here we go, Jared. Let's take a look at this again. Now this is going to be through the final turn. Watch Bloosh here. There's the orange cone, and he is way off course. Oh, that's a bummer, man. And here's what we were trying to point out, Jared, the difference between Bloosh and Peter in their chase positions. Now, Peter was back about right here, and Bloosh was maintaining incredible proximity. So we're seeing a big difference there in the chase run, but it may be for nothing if the judges deem that Bloosh going off course is just too much of a dramatic mistake.
Well, people threatened about, I wouldn't say that Peter, had a bad run. I wouldn't say that he threatened to have an amazing run. I think would you agree if the needle goes towards Peter? I think Kristaps, unfortunately, he was just one turn away, and this is similar to Orlando.
This is Osbo
what
last
happened
year.
To, him in Orlando against Frederick Osbo, just one turn away. So Peter Vincent, Kristaps Bloosh. Who's going to the Final Four against Dean Carnage? One more time. They're going at it again. They are going at it again. It's unanimous. And I got to think that Kristaps Bloosh is counting his lucky stars. But I would like to get some insight. Well, real quick, let's get some words with James Dean. Lorette Nickel caught up with James Dean, who's going to the Final Four against Alec Odell. Lorette?
James Dean has upset our defending champion, Chris Forsberg, and James is moving on. But, man, let's talk about the conditions that you're facing out there and that smoke screen.
The smoke here is, completely different to what I'm used to back in Europe. We've competed at night events back in Europe before, but the cars don't have the same power as what we're dealing with here. So trying to go through, the entry is okay. You go up the hill, it's okay, but coming out of the horseshoe is just blinding. So you go through the second last corner, transition, and you're honestly just hoping that you come out in the right place. Tricky, but somehow we made it work.
And you told me there's some sort of vibration in your car and you're not sure what it is. How do you fight through that?
Yeah, so on my battle with Matt Field, super intense battle, great driver, and I have big respect for him. I knew I had to put it all on the line to have a chance of moving on. But on the second half of the run, there's a vibration, it feels like, in the drive line. So I'm not sure what it is. We jacked it up. The guys checked everything, and they tried their best. Workhouse Drift Team are giving me the best support. But the vibration was still there with the run with Chris Forsberg, and I'm just hoping that the car holds together. So we'll hope for the best.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
All right, so real quick, Ryan Lontaine, I want to go to you. Christophe Blus looks like he's getting some fresh Achilles rubbers underneath his vehicle, but Lontaine, it was one more time. It was unanimous.
It was, yeah. I talked to the other two guys, and we all agreed after the fact. Basically, we were looking at Peter having won the lead, won the lead, and Blus really won the chase. Even despite going 1 or 2 wheels off there at the finish line, it was really right at the finish line that he did it too. But that's how we came to our 1-1 time. It looked like Peter did a much better job in the lead position. He put the car where it needed to be. He was deeper in outside zone 2. He did a better job of maintaining his momentum through inside clip 2 as well. Blush ended up getting close, but he had to stall up just slightly to get into the inside clip. So we just felt that one did better in one position, one did better in the other, and we ended up with our 1 more time. All
right, thank you, Lontaine and the judges. When we come back, we will see the 1 more time between Dean Carnage Kearney, or excuse me, no. Kearney will have to do battle against one of the winners of Blus and Vinsec. When we come back here, round 3 of the Formula J Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. So the teams are thrashing on the vehicles. Looks like Peter Vinsec keeping the car cool. And look at that, even Dean Kearney putting his 2 cents in there. You could say, it's all in your head, it's all in your head. So what's funny is if Peter wins, he goes against Kearney in the final 4. So right now, again, we are seeing Peter Vinsec keeping the car cool. We have some of our officials there. Vinsec is in the car, waiting for Blus. It looks like we will be shutting the door there. And again, Vinsec pulling to the line. There we're dropping Christophe Blus's car. There's James Dean waiting in the wings. There's Alec Odell and his team. There's Mr. Odell. Urban Air Hoonigan, Nexon Tires S14. So here we are. This is where we're at. The final battle of the Grade 8. The final battle of the Grade 8. Peter Vinsec and Christophe Blus. So if you haven't already seen, Blackview is our presenting sponsor. Pick up a Blackview dash camera and you could receive one compliments of Blackview. How? We'll text BVRA as in Road Atlanta to 38714. Again, get your phone out. We got some moments. They're warming up their tires. Text BVRA to 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash camera. Must be 18 or over to enter. Retail value of $379. Again, BV as in Blackview, RA as in Road Atlanta to 38714 for a chance to win a free Blackview dash camera. You could see Peter, eyes on the prize, watching his competitor warm up his tires. And a lot of people are threatening, saying, look, James Dean came here. He won round 1. But don't count on Peter. He's not just here for an accessory or an extra vehicle. He's a contender. And it seems that now, for his first time drifting at Atlanta, he's going for it. He wants to get past Blus, and then he gets to go against his friend Dean Kearney. So Christophe's on the start line. He will lead. And Peter warming up his Falcon tires in the background. Remember, our next round of Formula Drift competition is in New Jersey. Hashtag FDNJ. Who's coming out there? Let us know. Hashtag FDNJ for our next round of Formula Drift competition. That's June 2nd and 3rd at Wall Stadium in Wall Township, New Jersey. July 15th, July 14th, 15th, we're in Canada. August 4th and 5th, we're at Evergreen Speedway, Texas Motor Speedway, September 8th and 9th, and finally round 8, October 13th and 14th in Irwindale, California. Go to FormulaD.com or download the app to join us at any one of those rounds of competition or watch the live stream. Join us at the podium ceremony just after we crown a champion on track, or not a champion of this round, but a winner of this Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship round. Kristaps Blush, Peter Vincic, who's going to the Final Four. This is the one more time battle between these two fellows. Kristaps out front, Peter in the chase position. Kristaps initiates into the first front clip. Goes Kristaps, Peter up the hill. Kristaps, both of them getting into the dirt. So Peter now tracking him down, zeroed in. Now all the way into the horseshoe and the keyhole as they exit. Ryan, there it is once again. A little bit of separation, but Peter back on it. And Kristaps keeps it out of the dirt once again. Let's take a look at it.
Well, first half of this one more time. You can see snappy initiation right there by Kristaps Blush. And right there, Peter Vincic trying to close the door. Like you said, Jared, both drivers dropping a little tire there and accelerating up the hill, closing the door is Peter Vincic right here on the inside of this second inside clip. It's Kristaps Blush, and then right there, you can see a bit of separation. Now, Peter trying to close the door here, bringing it back around. Final inside clip through the finish line. And we see a good, strong battle here after run number one. Now they will switch positions.
All right, you can see the team looking on here. Seeing the different angles there. Kyle Pollard, Bridges, seeing what's going on. Yeah, they might be watching the stream. Downloading the app, watch themselves, checking it out. Getting pitted. Seeing how good their hair looks. All right, so Peter will now lead. Kristaps giving chase. Dean waits on. Patiently or impatiently, regardless, he's got to wait. Clean start, here we go. Vincic initiates, Kristaps, boom, right to it. Not as aggressive, oh, and as I say that, he got into formation, here into that outside zone. Kristaps shallows up, but he gains, look at that, to the door, to the wheel of Peter. Exiting the horseshoe. And turns on the smoke screen is Vincic. And back up the hill they go. Whew, that was a little close there. Ryan, do you think we have a winner?
Well, there's definitely a lot to talk about here as we take a look at Peter Vincic on his initiation. Looks like somebody shredded something there coming down the hill. Nice job here by Peter going up. Big angle here. Kristaps Blush made an incredible job coming out of inside clip one to close that door. And then through this inside clip number two here, you can see he's very, very close to Peter, and he's going to make this crazy move right there, narrowly making contact, but just right on that back bumper as he comes across the finish line. So great job there by Peter and Kristaps Blush. As we end this one more time battle, we will now go to the judges.
Right on. Love seeing all the comments there. Steve Toppin watching at home. How we doing, bud? And a lot of fans watching all over the world. Swamp Yankee, we'll see you out in New Jersey. Again, hashtag FDATL. Ryan, here they are side by side. I really love this comparison, but it's hard to focus. You know, what do you think we should focus on? Lead and lead or chase and chase?
Well, I think whatever your eye picks up is usually the first intuition, but also, you know, looking at both leads and both chases if you can from time to time, going back and forth, just looking at where there's separation, maybe where a guy went deeper into his zone, where Kristaps did right there. You can see that there's just a little bit of a beat that allows you to do that. Great job by Kristaps through that second inside clip. Now here you can see some separation on the left-hand side of your screen. Kristaps in the lead position. Now watch this right here. That move on the right-hand side of your screen. Incredible move by Kristaps. Not to make noticeable contact. He may have grazed the bumper, but that was very, very risky. And now we're going up to the start line shot. It looks like Peter Vincic had his hood up there for a second. But nonetheless, we've got the run and the battle finalized, and we will now see what the judges have to say.
All right, going to the judges. Vincic or Blush, who's going against Kearney? Two Wordhouse cars going to be in the final 4. Slide them left for Pizza, right for Blush. And Ryan says Blush, Brian, and it's unanimous. Christoph Blush gets the victory. Christoph gets the win and advances on. So Peter just a bit outside, and Christoph is going to the final 4. And with that, Christoph is guaranteed at minimum a 3rd place finish due to his number 3 qualifying position. And Christoph coming to this round 11th in the standings. James Dean, he came in 2nd in points. And then Alec Honadell, you look at him, and he's down there quite a bit. He is currently at 14th in points. All right, so, and Dean Kearney, who came in 7th into this round, 7th in points, is with our own Lorette Nickel now.
Dean Kearney told me that he just had one of his most enjoyable battles going against Ryan Turk. Walk us through that.
Yeah, that was awesome. You know, Turk is always the kind of guy that, you know, you have to leave it all out there. You know, you have to send it in super hard. He's making loads more grip this year. He makes so much smoke that you're blind all the way behind him. But he's a guy that you can trust and you can really dive in hard on him. So we came down to the first corner and I was chasing him on the first run, and he threw it in super hard. And I waited about half a second longer than him, and I threw it, and I could feel myself catching him, just waiting for him to get on the gas. And about 6 inches before I made contact with him, he just stood on the throttle. I was like, oh my God, my heart nearly stopped, you know. So we switched back underneath him and then just stuck with him all the way on the run. It was really, really enjoyable.
Dean, thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys?
Wow, look at that. That smile says it all. Well, he's in the final 4. It does not guarantee a podium spot, but if he keeps driving that way, he's going to have to do it because he's going against Christoph Blush. But look at this. Alec Honadell, James Dean. These guys have not seen competition against each other. So Alec Honadell on the start line, waiting for James Dean. James Dean warming up his Falcons. And now to the start. Who's going to the finals? Honadell or Dean? Come on, Atlanta, make some noise for these guys. This is the final 4, the Blackview top 4. Who's going to the finals? Is it going to be the American driver, the lone American driver, Alec Honadell, or the Irish driver joining another Irish driver, Dean Kearney, in the final 4? James Dean, 2nd in points coming into this round of competition. Can he podium once again? Where is he going to land? And here we go. Honadell out front. James Dean in the chase position. Honadell throws it in. Around that first front clip. James Dean getting left in that next entire dust. Into the outer zone goes Honadell. Quickly getting through the course. The way Honadell's car is set up, he is just, oh no! Honadell, a correction. Just as I said that. That was all Honadell, man. That was an unbelievable run. He was on point.
Yeah, and the way that James Dean drives, you can't give away mistakes like that. Let's take a look at this again. Honadell just absolutely on fire here. You can see Dean, big angle in the car, loses some ground here. Honadell up the hill, blasting through this section of the course. Great job on that second outer zone right here. Dean starting to close the door now, but watch, as Honadell comes through the center section, the car like drops off, and it looks like he has to reinitiate, so it's going to be a big mistake in the lead position for Alec Honadell. And now James Dean is trying to sink his teeth in here. Let's take a look at it one more time. Right there, the car drops off,
smoke.
And you can see the smoke line just stops. Dean notices it, but then gets right back on the throttle here, and then Alec reinitiates and finishes the run. But it's going to be at a big deficit here And Odell, as your number 8 qualifier, if he does lose here, he would be hoping that Kristaps Blush would beat Dean Kearney in order to get a podium spot. But he wants to fight for that podium spot of first place. And to be able to do that, he's got to get through James Dean on this next run here.
Yeah, and James Dean, he's got the clean air. He's out front. He's in a comfortable position. He's loving the track. You know, he said there's some vibration. So, you know, crazy things have happened. So James Dean now out front, one step closer to another podium. But let's see. Odell, you know he's going to push hard. So James Dean on that first front clip. Look at that transitioning, tit for tat. Nice job by Odell. But he needs to get that and mirror that angle. James Dean really not getting all the way out to that outside zone again. That seems to be par for the course for him. But Odell, that's what we're looking for. That's what he needs to do. But is it enough, Ryan? Is that enough to take down James Dean on that chase run, as well as that big correction, leaving the horseshoe in the lead?
Well, I think one thing that I want to say here about what I've noticed from Alec Odell this competition is it seems pretty clear to me that maybe besides Dean Kearney, he's got the quickest car out on course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's able to not only close gaps that seem insurmountable, he's pulling gaps on guys that are very, very quick. I mean, look at the pressure that he puts on Dean here. But let's remember, going back to run number 1, that mistake he made coming down the hill. And I think that that is going to be a deciding factor in the overall scheme of things here against James Dean.
All right, so as we wait for the judge's verdict, James Dean gets the victory. James Dean's going to the finals. James Dean's going to the finals. Alec Odell sits, waits, marinates to find out, does he have a podium spot, because third place is decided of the higher qualifying driver. Odell qualified 8th, and Kristaps qualified 3rd. So, and Dean Kearney qualified 15th. So, the scenario would be if Kristaps wins, Odell gets 3rd. If Kearney wins, then Kristaps Blush gets 3rd. You can see the skeletons of a lot of these easy ups, a lot of the fans. How are we doing? You're up there on the big screen. Say hello to the world. Atlanta. Some hardcore fans in the building. Gee, what up? Yeah, what's going on, homeboy? Oh, homeboy just fell. Homeboy just fell. That's what's up. Throwing the horns. Look at that. That guy's got an eagle chest. Yeah, now he's got a donut belly button. I saw that dude in the pits. Good old donut button. Some of the best fans in drifting there, Sagi. Lesage, Ryan Lesage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Road Atlanta has the most unique and crazy fans, hands down. The only people I think that can battle Atlanta, and I think it's a close second, is Montreal.
I knew you were going to say that. Canada, yeah. Montreal definitely has some savage fans.
But the one thing that Atlanta has besides volume is creativity in costume.
Look at that, James Dean getting down there, checking out, inspecting what's going on there. He not a moment spared. Taking a look, he knows he's got to get this thing to the finals. And we've seen it just working all the way down to the wire. So James Dean waits. You can see a lot of heat coming off that car. But Dean Kearney, Kristaps Blush. Here comes Blush and Kearney. The other side of the Final Four bracket. Now we saw both these guys. We haven't had any words with Kristaps yet, but Dean, he is absolutely elated. Lorette has gotten a lot of words with him. He seems like he is just enjoying the track. He says the car suits him. He just came off of an insane run, and just knowing, you know, he says, I can trust Turk, I can throw it in. I have a feeling that's how he's going to drive against Kristaps. Just seeing, I mean, what do you foresee?
Well, the one thing I've noticed about Blush, and it's just been from some of the footage we've seen up at the hot pits, is that during the one more time between him and Peter Vincek, he seemed like laser focused, just looking at his steering wheel, staring straight forward, not wanting to talk to anybody. And I think that's what you need. That's what he needs in order to move forward here. Almost gave it away by going off the course. Was able to get that one more time, and that was, like you said, the Osbo moment. Now he's this much closer. He's already got the podium. Can he finally get that victory that he so much deserves and that got away from him, slipped away from him last year in Orlando?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he's already locked in a podium if he loses, but he wants to go for that number one spot. Like you said, just it escaped him in that HGK BMW. He's seen and almost just smelt, but has not tasted that win in the Formula Drift Championship just yet. So Kristaps will lead. Dean Kearney will give chase. Tomorrow on CBS Sports, Formula Drift Round 1, Long Beach. Tune in. And we are getting word there is the start line. And let's send it Atlanta. Kristaps Blues. Dean Carnage Kearney. The Latvian lover, here we go. Out front. Throws it in, using all the course, gets out to that rumble strip. And there's Dean once again, feeling confident with his Oracle lighting. Dodge Viper. Kristaps, very settled. Dean drops into formation, well played. As Kristaps takes out that front clip and coming back down the hill. Big angle there, snappy transition as he heads back up the hill. And Dean gets into the dirt. And Dean Kearney gets into the dirt, blinded by the Achilles smoke. Both these guys on Achilles radials.
Well, Blush or Kearney, like Dean, gets his taste of the dirt there. That was a bit more of aggressive off course there. I mean, you can see Dean already out of the gate, wanted to make sure that he stayed with Blush through that first section of the course. He falls off a little bit coming up the hill, but Blush does not get as deep as he should have into that second outer zone. Pretty tight there on that inside clip, just hitting that cone, and a little bit of a correction right there by Blush in the lead position. Now the snappy transition back around, and then right there you can see that we have an off-course vehicle of Dean Kearney, and I think wanted to consult with Ryan, but that seemed like a little bit more aggressive than Blush, and you guys penalized Blush, but it resulted in one more time, not an incomplete.
Yeah, Blush ended up hitting the cone, I believe, with kind of his rear wheel, maybe 1-2 wheels off by the finish line, but that was clearly 3 off at the finish line for Kearney, maybe even 4, depending on if we could get a better view of it, but not very good. But that's lucky for Blush because he had a pretty big error coming out of the horseshoe there where he lost a lot of angle, so we'll see what happens as they change positions now.
All right, this is going to be the deciding run here, the second half here with Dean out front. Thanks, sir. All right, we are officially sending car here on this side of the Final Four. Dean Kearney, Kristaps Blues, Dean out front. No penalties assessed. Here we go. Snappy, big, nasty initiation by Dean Kearney. The angle from Kearney right now, Oracle lighting, Dodge Viper, Achilles radial is on it, getting all the way to the outside zone. Kristaps Blues tries to bring it on in. But Dean and his Viper are just firing on all 10 cylinders.
Well, that was an incredible initiation there by Dean Kearney. Watch, it just snaps right into it, right to angle. I mean, that is a big car to be able to do that and hold through that first inside clip. You can see Kearney right there now shooting up the hill as Blush losing a little bit of angle here. Dean, pretty good job going very deep into that second outer zone, and then Blush attacks right here on that second inside clip through the smoke line here, trying to push it as we come down the hill here. Dean getting ready to set up for that last inside clip, and then a little bit of straightening there through that last inside clip in the finish line by Kristaps Blush.
So Kristaps Blush and Dean Kearney wait, and as we said, if Blush loses, he automatically gets third place. But if he wins, that would mean Alec Odell gets third place. Dean Kearney's team waiting in the wings. The Oracle lighting, Dodge Viper. holding off, seeing what is going to happen. Again, James Dean already in the finals. Who is James Dean going against? Dean Kearney from Ireland or Latvian driver Christos Blue? Slide him left for Dean, and look, there's a one more time. Brian says one more time, they're going at it again. It is a one more time battle between these two gentlemen, Christos Blush and Dean Kearney. Don't go anywhere when we come back. The other half of this Final Four has gone one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, again, wake up your grandma. Tell them it's going down. Hashtag FDATL. We are going to end this thing in grand fashion. James Dean is already in the finals. Kearney and Blush are going at it again to find out who is going against the Irish driver James Dean, who is basically unofficially, potentially our new points leader. When we come back here to the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship, and it is potentially paved with some Irish gold. When we come back here to round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras.
Well, he's been quiet on the mic and hot on the track. That is Christos Blues. Lorette Nickel caught up with him as he gets ready for this Final Four battle.
Christos Blues, there is a one more time. So what is your take on that?
Well deserved one more time. So I did few mistakes, and I think Dean Kearney did pretty well too. So I think it's fair. So definitely, let's go one more time.
Okay. And everything is going well for you in working order?
Oh yeah. So I'm just starting to enjoying on like 100% this event, and I think the pressure is gone, and now, since now it will be more fun even.
Okay. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Christos Blues having some fun out there. We'll be right back after this one more commercial break as we finalize our battle that will lead to the finals.
Welcome back. We are here, and we are about to find out again. This is the one more time battle between Kearney and Blues. You can see Christos warming up his tires. We still have some hardcore fans sticking around to find out who's going to get the victory. And I'll tell you what, just seeing how James Dean is driving, Blues and Kearney, we're going to see one heck of a final. So I would not go anywhere if you're in the comfort of your own home, if you're here in the building. Some great weather here. You know, just Ryan, I mean, if you look at it from yesterday to today and what's going on, yeah, I think we scored weather-wise. You know, I think some drivers would, you know, beg to differ. They saw some wet conditions early on in top 32, but overall, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had a disaster on Friday. We averted that by making some changes to have qualifying in dry conditions. Obviously, qualifying has an impact on where you line up for the top 32 and all the way down from the remainder of the bracket. So being able to score some good weather, and especially now at this point in the night where, you know, the smoke is starting to clear out a little bit quicker. It's nice and cool outside. I think we got through pretty well.
Yeah, so as you can see, Dean pulling to the line. Here we go. Christos Blush and Dean Kearney. The final battle, the Final Four. After this, the winner of this battle goes against James Dean. Second in points coming to this round of competition. With Frederick Osbo leading, he will definitely be, you know, leading coming into this round. And with Osbo exiting early in the 32, James Dean will be our points leader.
Yeah, no doubt. Essa out, Osbo out, Turk out, Gittin out, Hilburn out, Kearney out.
Yeah, so, you know, James Dean is going to have a commanding lead, but right now it's about Blues and Kearney. Here we go. Blues from Latvia, out front, HGK, Weisfab kit being put to good use. Look at that! And we got contact. So Dean Kearney continues on through the course. Now, what comes into effect here is who has the competition timeout.
Who's at fault and who has the competition timeout.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the probably the most recent interview Lorette had with Dean, he said, I really pushed it against Ryan Turk. I was closing, and then 6 inches away, my heart dropped. He got back on the throttle. Perhaps Dean pushed a little bit too hard there. He's been really sucking up on the inside of inside clip 1, in order to get a good jump coming out of inside clip 1. Let's take a look at it here. Good initiation by both guys, very snappy by Dean. Dean is coming forward here and makes contact.
Yeah, I mean, Dean's staying on it. It's kind of weird, by the way.
You can see brake lights by both guys for a second, and then Kristaps is actually off his brakes when there's contact made there. He has a little bit of brakes going on at initiation. Watch the front lights here. On, now off, boom.
You definitely see an e-brake from Kristaps, but I don't think that's enough. I mean, he was going in there pretty good. You know, like you said, Dean going against Ryan Turk, he knew he needed to throw it in there.
So they are giving Dean Kearney fault. Now that will put him at a disadvantage. Now we need to consult with the track staff and race control in order to find out who's got a competition timeout and who does not. Just looking at my notes here, I don't see that one has been used from Dean or Blush. So both of them should be okay.
Yeah.
But it'll just be Dean that will need to decide whether or not he wants to get hands on the car, because him being at fault, he would need to utilize that competition timeout in order to do that.
Right. So again, reiterating what Ryan's saying, Dean Kearney is at fault, comes in too hard on the side of Kristaps Blush, and now what is going to transpire is if they want to get hands on the car, Dean Kearney would need to call his competition timeout, and there's no better time like the present. So we'll take a quick break. We'll gather our thoughts here, see what transpires as far as what's unfolding. But you can see Kristaps Blush, he's ready to go. He's not getting out of the car. He's got the guys. He's got his crew, his HGK fellas working on the car, and he's ready to do battle. As Chris Forsberg looks like he's getting him hyped up, checking everything out. When we come back, let's see what happens here between that of Dean Kearney and Kristaps Blush. All right, so we are, you can see here, we are getting hands on the car. It looks like, I believe that's, I can't see exactly whose car that is. Looks like, oh, okay, Motorsports, that's James Dean. So, no, that's Dean Kearney. That is Dean Kearney there. So Dean Kearney's car getting worked on there as Lorette Nickel caught up with our driver who is already in the finals, and that is James Dean. Lorette?
James Dean is still dealing with those vibrations in his car, and is it getting worse or staying the same?
On that last run on the first the first chase run with Alec, just coming around the first corner, first of all, he was faster than I expected, so he gapped me a good few car lengths. I was kind of napping at the start line. But when I was coming around the first corner, there's like this grating noise from the car. It felt like the diff or the gearbox, I'm not sure which. But as I transitioned going back up the hill, I had power on both wheels again. So it's very weird. On the second run, it was perfect. It's coming and going, I don't know what it is. The guys have jacked the car up, checked everything underneath, and we can't see anything with our eyes, and we have no time to investigate it further. But what can I say? I'm very lucky. Alec made a mistake. I think, on my leader, I just put down the best leader I could. But, yeah, super lucky that he straightened up coming out of the horseshoe because he had the gap on me. And, yeah, I'm a lucky man. But we're in the final. We're trying our best. The team is doing a great job, and I have to thank everyone for supporting me.
James, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Thank you, James Dean, as he waits in the wings. You can see... And we are, Big Kev there, our official, saying that Dean Kearney was allowed to change his back right wheel and or back right rim. And again, so when we come back, that's as we take a look, it looks like Dean thrashing, getting the car back together, and Kristaps Blush, he's ready to do battle as well. When we come back, we'll see Kearney and Blush. Well, as you can see, Kristaps Blush is there, and I can see the blue lights of the Dodge Viper. Lorette Nickel caught up very quickly with the Latvian driver.
Kristaps, there's a lot of work going on in your car. What's happening?
The first turn in the session, so did as usual, the same as before, so, and Kearney probably just a little bit overshoot and hit me on the rear wheel, so the rim is bent, and now we are putting the new rims back on, so, because definitely wasn't on fault, so did exactly the same, maybe even faster, but so things happen, so that's fine.
I like it. He's very cut and dry. I love Kristaps. He's a really good dude.
I like his attitude. Things happen. That's
Things
fine.
happen. So. Yeah,
That's
he's ready to do battle. It's fine. That's what's going to happen. All's fair in love and war, and you know, it's a love-hate relationship, man. That was great. That's fantastic. So you could see Kristaps warming up his tires. Are we going to see a winner? Come on now. Here we go. It's 5 a.m. in France. Look at that. Is it Nabil Abach? Well, thanks for watching. Waz. So Kristaps Blues warming up his Achilles radials. Yeah, 2 Irish in the final. Maybe. That's right. It could be a Latvian and an Irish, but I know Ireland's watching. Where are you guys all at? Oh, look at that. We got Kaepernickis cheering on Blush. One Mo time. That's right. Erica and Caleb cheering on their favorite driver. Ryan?
Well, I was just going to comment, you know, looking at the standings right now, either way, James Dean, as you said, stands to take the lead in the championship. He was currently 17 points behind Frederick Osbo coming into this event. That will certainly not only diminish but go away. And it's a great opportunity for Blues, who is currently in 11th place, and he was 87 points behind. He's going to make a big bump there. And with all those other drivers, Forsberg, Yoshihara, Bakshis, Hilbrand, Gittin, Turk, Essa going out early, this whole upper layer here is going to have a big shift. It's going to be very interesting to see where things lay out at the end of this event, going into New Jersey, which we know can also produce fireworks for sure.
So let's remind the fans, because we've had some breaks, we've had some one more times, but this is the second half of the battle because Kristaps already led. So this is the one more time. So this is Dean now out front, Kristaps giving chase, because if you can recall, again, Dean Kearney was at fault in the accident or in the contact, so he's at a deficit here. So Kristaps just needs to apply the pressure, and he's going to advance on to the finals because Dean Kearney had that contact. So Kristaps going to play it cool, but not too cool, because you don't want an inactive chase. So right now, into the horseshoe, into the keyhole goes Dean. And look at that, Kristaps makes contact now with Dean Kearney. So let's take a look at that again. We have contact. You saw Kristaps go into the keyhole. And look at, you see that front right wheel is not going the right way as in contrast to the front left.
He's got a nice little cone underneath there as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at this because Blush was putting pressure on Dean into the horseshoe, and that's an area where a lot of drivers tighten up. You sometimes will see some separation here, and Blush is keeping the pressure on. Now watch, a lot of guys really start to close in on drivers. Now you can see Dean right there is about to head into that second inside clip, and then that's where we have the collision that disables Blush. So the judges now have a call to make here. We had Dean, here it is, here's another angle here, Jared. You're going to see Blush right here on the inside. He brakes, and then right there making contact. And like I said, his car becomes disabled. So it wasn't as easy as just making a, kind of a conservative pass.
Well, they make
here.
contact at once. I think they're touching tires when they go into it, and then there's another time.
And then you can see a little piece fly off right there.
Pieces fly off, but watch, when they go into the horseshoe, Kristaps has already, look, it looks like they go tire to tire. That's after obvious contact there, but the question is, did Kristaps push too hard? Did Dean choke him up? But again, they had contact even before that real moment of Kristaps coming to a halt. So like, watch right here. Watch. See Kristaps' car? The attitude of his car. So it might have been tire on tire and just like
maybe, yeah, because you're going to get a little bit more.
Yeah, you're going to get
extruding out
rubbed.
the side, but I think it's really going to come down to that section there is what they're going to have to make a judgment call on.
So the big thing here is, yeah, there will be a verdict because we've had contact between Dean and Kristaps already once. Dean was at fault on that first run, so there was a deficit there, and that's why I say, like, if Kristaps would have kept it together, just played it cool, kicked back, not too much far back because that would be inactive chase or what we call a sandbag. But now it looks like the car has seen better days. But this thing has This thing has taken him to this point. So James Dean still waits in the wings to find out who he's going against, but we will have a verdict. Is it another one more time? Is somebody at fault here? Do we have just a more, just rip that thing off. You know, what's going to happen here?
Well, we were making pretty good pace through the top 16.
Yeah, jeez.
Now we've just added on an hour trying to get through the final,
four. It has been nothing short of exciting, though. I mean, that's the best part of it. I'm seeing a lot of comments, a lot of dialogue saying just how great the driving is. I mean, these guys are really putting it out there. You're seeing a lot of wheel-to-wheel action, and with that, the incidents are a byproduct of pushing that much harder.
And Road Atlanta seems to bring the best out of everybody. It really does. I mean, we've had so much great history here, and we always see an incredible competition. And oftentimes, like we did last night, we go to the brink of midnight for Pro 2. And for Pro, we're starting to get there. It's 11:10 now. We've been at it since 8 o'clock of opening ceremonies, and we have yet to get to the finals. We've seen guys going off course. We've seen some collisions. We've seen some great battles. And yet here's James Dean. He's been waiting for somebody to battle in the finals for the past 40-some-odd minutes. You have to imagine what he's preparing for. What is he thinking about? What does he need to do here in order to get his head in the right space.
Right.
And it's going to all depend on who he's going to go up against, because you've got Kearney and Blush, two different drivers, two different vehicles, two different styles. But he seems to be having fun and having a laugh there with Peter Vinchek.
Yeah, as you said, Ryan, James Dean waits in the wings. And there you go. So Peter's just like, man, I wish I could do battle against you, but just not the case. Blush took him out. So we should have a verdict here between Blush and Kearney. And this, Ryan, to be quite honest, what kind of condition is Blush's car in? Dean, he powered through the course, but let's see what's going on. So here are the results: Dean Kearney, Christoph Blush. So again, James Dean, who's going against him in the finals? Slide him left for Kearney, right for Blush, and it's a one more time. Of course it is. It's a one more time battle, and Lontaine, the delays keep on coming, but I agree.
Yeah, there's really nothing we can do in this case. We had a hit from the chase driver on the lead driver in the first run, and then we had a hit from the chase driver on the lead driver in the second run. I mean, that's
the reality.
That's a textbook one more time. There's
Yeah.
nothing we can do there,
Right.
unfortunately.
The only thing that would have changed that is if you were to give fault, to Kearney or something, but that wasn't the case. You gave fault to one driver in one run, fault to the other driver in the other run. That's a textbook one more time.
Exactly. There's nothing we could do. Our hands are tied in that case. We'd like to declare a winner right now, but unfortunately it's just the way it is.
Okay, so in that instance, how does that play out? Because Blush was at fault. I don't think he's used his competition timeout.
Exactly. I do not believe he has. From what I was told, he has one competition timeout. Dean has used his, but because he was deemed not at fault for the hit, he's allowed to fix his car. So now we're back to where we just were a minute ago with the drivers in the opposite positions.
But now we're going to see an entire battle, each driver lead. Christoph's lead, Dean lead, and then we'll ideally, hopefully, and thankfully receive a winner to see who's going against that of Dean. But again, here's the question, Ryan. Is Christoph Blush, you saw those front right, the right wheel and the left wheel, they're going in completely different directions. Yeah. Does Christoph's one have the parts to fix it to the time?
That's the big question right now. If Christoph's can't fix it in 5 minutes, then that means that he will be forfeiting, and Dean Kearney will be moving on by default. So we're going to have to see as soon as he gets on the ground how quickly he can get whatever's broken up there fixed, and then get it back to the start line. And 5 minutes, that can, break a team right there. There might be a lot of work to be done. So this could be, an uneventful loss, if you will. We won't get to see the next one more time, maybe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And that would, like you said, uneventful. So Big Kev holding it down, cranking DPs. So as you can see, Christoph Blush looks like he's got his car on the ground, and it bears repeating. So because Christoph is at fault, he has to use his competition timeout, 5-minute allotment, get the car repaired. If not, he would forfeit his his battle against Dean Kearney, and Kearney would then go to the final. Then the question is, does Dean Kearney have his car up, running, willing, able, and ready to do battle against James Dean? So just for sponsorship sakes, just for time's sakes, we're going to take a short break here and see what transpires. But look at that quickly. You see Chris Forsberg even lending a hand here to the Latvian driver and the HGK team. And you also see, obviously, Christos Blus getting his hands on the car to see what is going on underneath that car. When we come back, we'll see what is going on here. Look at Ryan Turk is out there. Cameraman on the case. You know what? Let's stay on this. Let's stay on this. This is really cool. I mean, you got a 5-minute competition timeout. They're utilizing it right now. Kevin Wells is our technical director.
Yeah, and he should have a red digital clock on the ground over there somewhere. You can see it in the
background,
in the rear view. Yeah. So if we can get a shot on that, guys, you'll see the clock there counting down. You can see Big Kev pointing to it. That is the clock that's running. If you guys can zoom in on that, it'll give you an idea.
Sherilyn from Achilles getting some tires over there. So there it is. So that's 6:42. So is
that's on Dean.
That's on Dean.
And then Kevin has a second clock on Kristaps.
All right. So as again, you're seeing Turk, you're seeing Forsberg over there, you're seeing a lot of the Nameless Performance crew working on that, and there is Kristaps taking a look at that front left corner, see what kind of damage that Wise Fab suspension has taken. And there is the clock right there. So 3 minutes already, or 2 minutes have already expired, or nearly 2 minutes have already expired on Kristaps' vehicle. So this is a competition timeout. This is 5 minutes. He has allowed this because he made the contact. The car is on the ground. If he is not able to fix it, he is not able to run. But then also Dean, so that would mean Dean would get the win. But then Dean needs to have a bye run in order to show that his car is able and ready to run. And he would then, if he was unable to run, James Dean would get the victory. A lot of explaining going on. But liking this, man. This is where kind of, I don't want to say the unsung heroes, but you can see it looks like even Michael Essa.
You got Essa in here. You got
Turk, Forsberg, Essa. You got some of the nameless guys on over here. You got Sherilyn, the Achilles director. She was bringing tires over there. This is what I really enjoy, because Ryan, you and I get this perspective. We're only in the tower. We never get to hang out up top of the hill. It's such a different dynamic.
And you want them to make it. They've got 2 minutes left. You see them putting on the left front.
Oh, yeah.
You want them to make it. You want to see this battle. You're rooting for these guys. It's a really fun and awesome story to see just how this organically came together here. And as the clock is ticking down, the time is really starting to put a strain on the team as they need to make some further adjustments with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2 minutes left. That's going to be a tight fix on what's going on there. It looks like something came loose. Looks like a tie rod or something. And they are completely getting that thing torqued. Kristaps already in the saddle. Says jump in. Are they going to make it? Yeah, I mean, we got, he doesn't, does he have fresh rears? I don't even think he has fresh rears. And they're already throwing the rim on there. Yeah, this is going to be a tight one, but looks like that rim is
you get some
taking a licking.
Some suspension damage.
Come on now, cheer him on, Atlanta. Cheer him on here. Look at this thrashing on the car. They can hear you down here in the valley, regardless of the outcome. Some serious hard work going on. And just about 70 seconds left. 70 seconds left in order for Kristaps to do battle. All right, looks like we are checking the wheels. Lug nuts, are lug nuts even on? Now we got Turk with some lug nuts, throwing them on. And the car needs to be on the ground.
Oh boy!
And yeah,
getting a little tense here.
There's no rears on the car. I'm getting word from Lorette that there are no rears on the car, or basically fresh rears, I should say.
Well, let's see if we can pan and see the entire vehicle. There you go.
And there it is. So now looks like they're working on this. And this is the sport. This is why we love this. I mean, these hard-working teams working in unison. Come on, let them hear you, Atlanta. Hear you around the world. Teamwork makes the dream work. Cam Automag, nice. Good quote. So as the clock is ticking down, and it is on jack stands, and it looks like Kevin Wells. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Kristaps on the ground, and he is on a jack stand.
Well, let's see what Kevin says.
Let's see what Big Kev says.
He says over the radio he doesn't have lug nuts in the rear. He didn't make it in time.
So Kristaps and his team
Guys, Kevin Wells is right down here. He is talking to the teams right now. Hey, Kev, any official word on Kristaps?
Yeah, I mean, they're very good effort on that, but it's missing lug nuts and everything else. That's not, the alignment's not done. It's not all tightened up, so I'm not going to let that one run.
So yeah, Ryan, it's more than lug nuts. It's alignment.
Thank you.
You know, they're down there torquing on tie rods. They're down there torquing on suspension and angle, and it's not even towed up.
It was a heroic effort, but I mean the car would basically be unsafe going out. And now we turn our attention to Dean because he's got to. We haven't seen much from Dean. We've been focusing on Kristaps, but Dean still has his clock there. We remember when we showed Dean, he was at 6:43 when we were at about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So he's got a few minutes to verify that he is actually able to run, and he would need to make that by, and then he would go to the finals. But it's a really big heartbreaking loss for Kristaps Blues because he had that battle won. He made the contact with Dean. It forced this situation here. They weren't able to fix it in the 5-minute allotment, and it was quite chaotic up there. We don't normally get to see this, Jared, but
no.
Thankfully we have a camera up there. We have Lorette up there, and we got to see all that action from start to finish.
Yeah, that was definitely exciting, man. I love that kind of stuff. Like I said, the different perspective, and when it comes down to a Formula Drift event and seeing the different perspectives, that's why, you watch the live stream, you come to the live events, you watch it on CBS Sports, you watch the different videos and content made by each driver, each team, each sponsor. This sport has so many different perceptions of what's going on through not an event weekend, but even the preparation, the post-event celebration, or blood, sweat, and tears. There's a lot of anguish that goes through these teams, frustration, absolute enjoyment. And for 14 years we've been coming here to Atlanta, and it just never ceases to amaze me, the stories that unfold, the vehicles, all the time, effort, hard work, and it's tough, man. So Dean Carnage Kearney, you could see him in his Oracle lighting Achilles radial Dodge Viper, and it looks like Dean signals something to him, but I don't think it was probably anything ill-willed, because his team thrashed. His team thrashed hard, but fortunately for Kristaps Blues, it is not all for naught because of his number 3 qualifying position. Kristaps Blues will end up on the podium in 3rd place. So Ryan, I've just kind of elaborating here on just. It's Atlanta, man.
Yeah, I think we were very fortunate to see that whole thing occur from start to finish, and really get to have an insight look to what a team does, and especially some of the external drivers that are not necessarily part of his team that are lending a helping hand, that have already been eliminated, to try to get him back out on course because they want to see these guys battle. And that Dean wanted to see that happen, but for Kristaps, unfortunately, just not able to get the car safe enough, didn't finish in time. So we'll see Dean Carney advance on to the finals after he makes this bye run here.
All right, so as you said, Dean Carney, the Oracle lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles radials, all this pandemonium, all this insanity. James Dean still waiting in the wings. He's going to find out if he's 1st or 2nd. But these guys, 2 really good friends. It's an all-Irish final here in Atlanta as Dean Kearney. We've seen him push. And here he is, taking what is a victory lap just to get him in the finals. And there is Dean Kearney heading back up the hill. Dean Kearney heads back up the hill. He'll be doing battle against James Dean in an all-Irish final. All right, so as you can see, the fans still sticking around. You guys having fun out there, Atlanta? You saw that pandemonium unfold, and now it's an all-Irish final. James Dean versus Dean Kearney when we return. The Truth versus Carnage. When we come back here, it is the Advance Auto Parts Road to the Championship Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. When we return, the finals are upon us. James Dean warming up his tires. After a 7-year hiatus, he comes back to Formula Drift U.S. competition. These guys have never seen battle against each other here on U.S. soil. They're great friends. They're both from Ireland. It's an all-Irish final. James Dean, it's the battle of the Deans. One's the last name with an E, one's the first name without an E. James Dean pulls up to the line in his Wordhouse Falcon tires, S15, and Dean Kearney. You can see the blue Oracle lights on the front of his Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles radials. Christos Blues from Latvia grabs another podium. And I say another one from last year in Orlando. Second place. This is his second ever podium. James Dean grabs the win in Long Beach, and we have not seen Dean Kearney on a podium since 2015. And 2014, he got a second place in 2014 and a second place in 2015. Can he better that? Can he beat his good friend James Dean? We're about to find out. As we are about to head into the finals, we're ready to send it here in Atlanta. Let's get a wave going here for the finals really quick. Starting right here in the Judges Tower. It's going towards the bridge, all right? It's going towards the bridge from the Judges Tower. This is the finals, Atlanta. Come on, you guys have stuck around. On three, put your hands up right here. Starting at the Judges Tower. 1, 2, 3, boom, going up, going towards the bridge, coming across the bridge. Come on now. Come on, Atlanta. There you go. You stuck it out all the way through on the other side. Coming all the way around Road Atlanta. The finals are here. Throw up your lights if you want to. An all-Irish final. There you go, waving it out. Put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Because you do care. And we are ready to send it here for our Formula Drift Round 3 finals. Ryan, as you said, James Dean, our points leader after this, with Frederick Osbo going out early in the 32. And we are ready to send cars. And here we go. Let's send it, Atlanta. James Dean, Dean Carnage Kearney, an all-Irish final. Ireland wins either way. Dean, feint initiation. Kearney throws it in. James Dean. Look at Dean Kearney right there on the back of that S15. Woo! Look at Dean Kearney. Dean Kearney is a man possessed right now. Going to that horseshoe. James Dean, great composure, very settled. The smoke screen is on. Make some noise, Atlanta and drifting world.
Where things really make a difference is as the chase driver, you're doing things that other chase drivers are not doing. Staying close on initiation into this first inside clip and coming up the hill is something that we don't see that often. And you can see Dean Kearney does a great job of it right here. Now out front, you can see James Dean able to go deep into that second outer zone with Dean right on the back bumper, navigating through the smoke. Incredible job here. Now James Dean does pull a tiny bit of a gap, but then right back at it is Kearney in the chase position. A great start here by both guys, with James Dean coming out with a solid lead run and Kearney just looking like he's got full mastery of that vehicle in the chase position.
And again, you could see the guys, I mean, Wordhouse is on Dean's suit. You know, again, these guys are friends. So it's, yeah, they trailer together, they transport together, they hang out, you know, all the time here in the paddock. I mean, they are great friends. They eat together, party together, and man, now they're partying together in the finals. So they are here, they're ready to do battle, and the finals are set. But who is going to get, again, the #1 spot here in Atlanta? James Dean has driven here years ago, 7 years ago. But Dean Kearney, obviously he has some way with this track. He has never seen a win. He's never seen the top of the box. And the way he's driving, he is just on one right now. So Dean Kearney will lead as the smoke still lingers here for the finals. And sounds like we are getting ready here.
Yeah, they're just letting the smoke clear a little bit.
All right, letting the smoke clear a little bit more. So we just get, and no, here it goes. The red lights are on. Let's send it, Atlanta. Dean Kearney out front. James Dean in the chase position. Who's going to get the victory? And here it comes down. Dean Kearney initiates into that front clip. James Dean in the chase position. Dean Kearney brings it in. James Dean mimicking everywhere Dean Kearney goes. Look at this, James Dean following Dean Kearney all the way down into that final clip. What do you say, Atlanta? Dean Kearney, James Dean here in the Irish, all Irish finals. An Irish driver is going to win. Who's it gonna be?
Well, we were seeing some fire pop out of the back of James Dean's car going back up the hill, but he starts off on fire down the hill right here, tucking up through that smoke cloud, doing the same thing that Dean did going up. Just an incredible job here. Now watch this as Dean goes very deep into the second outer zone. Right there, James Dean on it through that section of the course. Probably some rubbing going on through there. Now Dean Kearney right here through this last section, through this first inside clip, is going to pull a minor gap right before the finish line right there. But outside of that, James Dean was doing a tremendous job in the chase position. So we've got 2 solid leads, 2 crazy chases, and now the judges have the hardest job of all as we try to close out here at Road Atlanta, going late into the evening. A crazy, crazy event here for round 3.
I did not think we would be here all the way up until, we have a hard cut 12 midnight. We had that last night, and I assume we have it again, but man, I did not think that on paper. So look, here's side by side. Look at this. This should be impressive.
You can see Dean maybe gets into proximity a little bit quicker, but then right there, look at Kearney on the left side of your screen. Right there, dives in on that transition, and then James Dean, basically same thing, very similar up the hill. Watch James Dean in the lead position, watch Kearney, almost nearly identical in that second outer zone. And then right there, James Dean, door to door through that second inside clip. A little bit of separation on the left as compared to the right, but just, we're talking about, 6 inches. And then right here through this last section of the course, you will see that little separation on the right-hand screen with Dean in the lead position.
Wow, that we are splitting hairs here. We are absolutely splitting hairs when it comes to this. Do you guys think we have a winner out there? I bet you the Irish guy wins. Where's my Dean Kearney fans at? In the Dodge Viper. Where's James Dean fans at? So a lot of cheers for James Dean. So again, if we do have a victor, we'll pull them down on the track. Our podium is up here at the top of the hill. It's no longer down in the paddock. It is right up here. Or how many people think they should go one more time? All right, it is official. We do have a winner. They are not going one more time. We'll bring our drivers down here on track to announce our winners and then join us at the podium. Our 3 drivers and vehicles will come down here on track in the horseshoe. You can see these guys high-fiving each other.
how this is going to work is there's
Make some noise for your all-international podium. And as you know, qualifying third, getting his second ever podium in Formula Drift competition from Latvia in the HGK, Mass Motorsports, Motul, Weisfab, BMW. Third place here in Atlanta, Christoph Splush. And now, to be honest, it was a split decision. So, it was a split decision, but there was a majority rules. So as you know, let's go to our sliding board. Guaranteed the winner is Irish. Slide him left for Dean Kearney, slide him right for James Dean. Dean Kearney has had 2 podiums. 2 second place podiums. James Dean, after 7 years, comes back, wins in Long Beach. As he said, still buzzing 2 months later. And now our winner here at round 3 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras, the Advanced Auto Parts Road to the Championship. With 5 more rounds to go, who gets the win here at the iconic track after 14 years of competition here at Road Atlanta? Going to the judges, slide them left for Dean and right for James Dean. Ryan says one more time, and James Dean is your winner. James Dean wins here at Road Atlanta. James Dean in the Word House, Falcon Tires, Sylvia S15 gets another win out of 3 rounds. That's 2 for 3 for the 2017 season. That means second place goes to the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles radials of Dean Carnage Kearney. Dean Kearney grabs second place. Again, another round of applause. James Dean, your victor, but second place goes to the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles radials of Dean Carnage Kearney. Third place to Christoph Splush, and there is your winner. James Dean, another win, and Lorette Nickel is with our winner. If you haven't had enough words with this tall gentleman. And there's Chris Stops, congratulate him. Lorette Nickel, down to you.
Thank you so much, Jared. Normally there are 2 teams and there's a clear separation at the top of the hill. This time both teams came together, a split decision. James Dean, you have the Americans cheering for you, yelling your name. I mean, what does this moment even mean to you?
This is the definition of a dream. Oh man, this is crazy. Especially the final battle with Dean. I saw him pushing me around the place and I knew I had to return the favor, and oh man, it was all or nothing by the 2 of us. I didn't know who got the win because we both made contact with each other in our chase runs, but you know, neither of us gave up and we kept it pinned, and yeah, that's a battle. That's what you call a battle. So I'm super happy. Great job by Dean. Serious driving, and huge thanks to Worthouse Drifting, Falcon Tire, and all my family, friends, everybody watching at home. You know, I am living my dream.
I'm so excited for you. Everyone in the paddock is. When you're sitting in your car for over 40 minutes waiting to decide who you're going up against, what are you processing?
Not much, to be honest. It was reminding me of sitting on a long flight because my ass was starting to go dead, but I was just relaxing, and you know, I was enjoying the moment because I knew I was in the final and that was my weekend already made, so super happy.
And when you know that you can trust the driver that you're going up against, how much better do your runs get?
I was like with Chris Forsberg today, Matt Field, you know, two drivers, two of the best in the series, and you just push hard. And, you know, neither of them backed off or there was no game. So when you can trust someone, it makes a huge difference. And with Dean, you know, it was going to be awesome no matter what. And he put in an awesome lead run and no braking, no nothing, just full throttle, and what a way to finish. So thank you all the fans here. Now I know why they say Atlanta is amazing, so thank you all.
James Dean, congratulations, your second win of 2017. Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Congratulations, James Dean, Dean Kearney, Kristaps Blush. Ireland, Latvia. Truly international, Ryan. You see the flags around here. They're not just for decoration.
Road Atlanta delivered once again. We saw some incredible competition. The championship is shaken up once again, and we head to New Jersey next to find out what's going to happen during the midway point, and that's unbelievable.
On behalf of Lorette Nickel, the judges, Ryan Lantain, Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Dienda, Parker Jed Tyson. I love you. You'll see you tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day, Stephanie Dienda, and to all the other moms out there. I'm James Dean. I'm sure your mom's watching. Thanks again. Send it. We'll see you online, or we'll see you another time. We'll see you in Jersey.